Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Purple and Gold Hoops Podcast, Episode 2. Thank you for coming back and listening to us again. This is Adam.
This is Kevin.
And we're going to just dive right in. And first thing we got to say to the people is we are incredibly sorry about our terrible predictions. I predicted the next Lakers loss would be on the 25th of November to San Antonio. And Kevin predicted it would be December 1st.
Yeah.
Little did we know they would come out and lose the next game to Toronto.
I'm like at least 15 games off of our second loss.
Yeah, both of us were a couple games off. I mean, I was a little closer than you were, but how much does I say when they came out and lost the very next game, you know? So, I mean, we're both very mistaken on that. Because we were talking about 18-1, 19-2, something like that, and it's still possible because they've only dropped that one game to Toronto.
Yeah, it's still possible. I'm still a little shocked that we lost to the Raptors. It seemed like they were just hustling.
Yeah,
it doesn't even feel like they lost Kawhi Leonard. Like they're just playing the same style, same defense, same pace.
They remind me a lot of last year's Clippers. And the fact that they don't really have too many big names. I mean, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, but those two didn't even play against the Lakers. And the reason why I say that it remind me of last year's Clippers because we saw what the Clippers did to the Warriors in the first round before they got Kawhi and PG.
True.
When they took them to 6 with no stars. They traded Tobias Harris at the trade deadline. Everybody thought they were tanking, trying to get a better lottery pick, and
didn't it seem like they were tanking, though? Did you feel like they were tanking?
I thought they were, yeah, but
I definitely thought they were tanking.
I guess everybody outside the Clippers locker room, that's what they thought, us included, and Doc was just like, no. We're not doing that. Like,
he's like, I'm not playing for the Orlando Magic anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Games.
But that's not surprising because that's why he left Boston, because he didn't want to deal with the rebuild.
Yeah.
And watching that game against the Raptors, I thought it was going to be an easy win with no, like I said, Lowry, Siakam, Ibaka wasn't even playing. So, I mean, they're down probably their 3 best players or 3 of their 4 best players if you want to throw in Fred VanVleet, who completely tore up the Lakers as well.
I didn't respect him throughout most of the playoff series, especially when they were playing Golden State. But I'm actually starting to really respect his game and who he is because he's just constantly just knocking down. Sometimes
VanVleet can ball, and what he did against the Lakers was 23 points, 10 assists. And I'm sorry, Siakam did play. It was Lowry and Ibaka that didn't.
Lowry did play. That's right.
Siakam did, and he was solid with 24 and 11.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot the ball too well, 9 and 25, 1 for 8 from the 3-point line. But VanVleet completely destroyed the Lakers.
And he stretches your defense out because he shot 4 of 9 from three point range. Even when he played against the Warriors in the NBA Finals, he stretched out the defense, knocking down. I think it was something crazy like 75% from 3.
Yeah.
I was like,
when he gets hot, he's hot. He's one of those rhythm guys who he can create his own shot, but when he's hot, and he's just gonna knock everything down. He might be hot for a 5-10 game stretch, and then he'll come back down to earth and regress to the mean. But he had it against the Lakers. I don't know if that was just him playing well or the Lakers not really having the horses to get out on those smaller, quicker guards.
Well, he was definitely hot. I mean, look at his numbers. He's 23 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. He almost had a triple-double against us. Mm-hmm. And he's not really known as a brilliant passer. So.
Right. But he's a creator, though. Not only for himself, but not so much for other people, but he can create for other people. Because he's a good enough passer, and he comes from a good basketball background. He played at Wichita State.
Yeah.
And that's very structured, and that they preach a system. So, and that's what Nick Nurse is doing up in Toronto. So I feel like that's elevating his value, is that he's actually playing. He's a system player playing in a system.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Lakers that night, LeBron James, he had his triple-double.
Yeah.
Which is great.
13 and 15.
But he was
15 assists.
Him and Anthony Davis were -6 on the plus or minus category. And it seemed like LeBron James just couldn't buy a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be games where you don't shoot very well, and we're getting, like I mentioned last time, we're getting the older version of LeBron James. So it's not like I expect him to shoot well and just keep going and running and running and running. If he has a bad shooting night, he's just going to have a bad shooting night.
Can we put a pin in that and talk about that later, though, that old LeBron thing? Because I feel like he's kind of showing you he's not old anymore.
Well, okay, he's not old in terms of production, but he's old in terms of the way he's scoring. Like, he's scoring from the elbow. It's kind of like the older Kobe. I'm gonna play the game smart. I'm not gonna run too much. I'm just gonna outsmart you, and I'm gonna get away with what I'm gonna get away with, and lead my team to a championship without doing all the work. Young guys, they want to run up and down the court and shoot threes and just keep running and keep running.
We see that now with AD.
Yeah,
it's just by the fact that he was talking about, I don't want load management.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that last week, but it might come up weekly throughout the season because that's a huge topic in the NBA. So for everybody that's annoyed by it, I'm sorry, but you might have to hear it here too. But yeah, I completely agree. But LeBron has been looking really athletic, and we'll get to all that in a bit. I still wanted to talk about the Raptors loss because they came out really flat. And that was a lot that I was harping on last week as well, is that they come out in these first halves and they look really flat, but then come halftime they completely 180 and the energy is there, the defense is there, they start clicking better on offense and they start shutting people down. And that loss to the Raptors really, I feel like, showed and reiterated what I said last week about you're not always going to be able to flip that switch and turn it on at a drop of a dime when you need to, and they're playing with fire when they do that.
Well, do you think the Lakers are learning something about themselves? Because the players that struggled the most were our three-point shooters outside of Kyle Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny Green had 0 points. Alex Caruso played 17 minutes. He had 3 points. Jared Dudley, he got like 2 minutes, so he didn't really get any minutes.
Yeah, he's not getting any burn on his team.
But our main three-point shooters all struggled, including LeBron. He went 0 for 2 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Green 0 for 5 from 3. Caruso went 1 for 3 from 3. So a team like Toronto can close out on us. Do you feel like that a defensive team like Toronto or maybe even the Clippers will give us fits?
I think there's certainly a possibility, of course. I mean, a great defensive team isn't great for no reason. In particular to the Toronto game, though, I feel it was LeBron not being aggressive because I feel like it all starts with him. And over the numbers say part of the story and tell you a little bit, but when you watch the game, over the course of the game, I was stuck wondering why is LeBron like he didn't look for his shot really at all. I mean, and he only had 13 points. He had 15 assists. So while that's great, yeah, LeBron had 15 assists. We're happy about that. It's telling you that he wasn't aggressive, and it all starts with him because when he's aggressive and attacking the rim, now the defense has to converge. Because either you're going to converge and try to stop him, or you're going to give him an easy dunk layup one-on-one, possibly an and-one. And when the defense converges, if he kicks it out, now he's creating a wide open shot for the Danny Greens, Alex Caruso's, Quinn Cooks, Troy Daniels, all the guys you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then that helps them get in rhythm because now they're taking open looks.
Yeah, because they kind of go as he goes.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he doesn't go...
yeah, we saw that very clearly with Toronto, and they only lost by, I believe it was 8 points. So the game was a lot closer than what it actually seemed. Because to me watching it in the moment, I thought they should have probably got blown out by 20. I don't think it should have been that close. Watching the game, so a lot of it, I think if LeBron is aggressive and LeBron is attacking, that's when we're going to see the better parts of the three-point shooters come out.
Well, he may be taking one of those load management days, just coasting it. all older players do it throughout the course of the season. You'll just see them coast the game and hope that someone else can carry the load, carry the torch throughout the game. So this might have been his day off, and I'm not. Of course, you never want to lose any games, but if you're going to lose a game, Toronto, how often are we going to see them outside of the finals?
One more time in March when Dan Green goes back and gets his ring.
Yeah.
Which will probably be another loss.
I think I will, all things considering that the way the Lakers have been playing the last 2 or 3 games, I think we'll beat them next time.
I haven't looked at the schedule or anything. I just know it's March. So I don't know what, obviously it's going to be on a road trip when they play them. I don't know what the rest of that road trip looks like. I'd imagine it's a long one, seeing as how they're going all the way to the East Coast. But I think the Lakers are playing great, but I think that's going to be another loss in Toronto, unless LeBron comes out and is angry about how they got done at Staples Center on Sunday or whatever it was last week.
Well, he's an angry guy, when people doubt him. People have been doubting his skill, his athleticism, his age.
He's very passive-aggressive. You've been the main one doubting his age over here.
Oh, yeah.
Every time we talk, it's old man LeBron, LeBron.
It's old man LeBron. But, look, once a baller, always a baller.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some guys down at the gym, the pickup game. They may be 40, 45, but if they can shoot and they can play, they can score, and they can carry the game. So it's not like the old man game doesn't work, because a big man's game is pretty much an old man's game. So guys like Kareem, that always had that old man's game, that you just see guards and forwards doing the same thing now.
Do you think that's why, and I don't mean to digress or anything, but do you think that's why Jamal Crawford is in the league? Because they feel like dude's 36, 37 already. So GMs feel like he's old and his game hasn't really adapted or changed?
You could say the same thing about Mo Williams, though.
Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
Okay, yeah, because Mo was the one that played with LeBron in Cleveland.
Yeah. You could say the same thing about Lou Williams. Like, last year was honestly, I've been watching Lou Williams since he was with the 76ers.
Yeah, came up under AI as his mentor and whatnot, and learned a lot from AI in the early years.
Yeah, last year was the first time I had ever seen him, actively pass the ball. Actively pass. Look for other people. Outside of that, I've always seen him just get his own. He goes in and I've said it a million times, he's a professional scorer. Mm-hmm. He can knock down shots. He can get people to foul him. But he never really looks for other people. And he plays exactly the same way. So I think he can fit somewhere in the NBA.
But I think Jamal Crawford fits on this Lakers team.
You really want that guy?
I want that shot creator. And we went off topic a bit here, but I asked you, I think it was yesterday or the day before, why is Taylor Horton-Tucker even on this team? Because I get it, we can't go out and sign Jamal Crawford right now because we only have one roster spot. Mm-hmm. And we're hopefully saving that for buyout season to get 80. I got that. That's cool. But Taylor Horton-Tucker is technically, while he's going up and down between the Lakers and the G League, he's technically taking up a roster spot. Why can't we cut him and go get Jamal Crawford? And still, now we have 2 roster spots open. We'll get Jamal Crawford, and we'll still have the spot for Iggy when he gets bought out.
One thing I didn't consider is that I know when you're in the G League, you may be able to sign with anybody as long as they're willing to sign you.
Right.
So they may
to the big club.
Yeah.
Right.
They may just lose him if they decide to cut him.
But they're picking up Jamal Crawford, though. And have we seen THT at all? Dude got a nickname. He hasn't played a minute in the league. So are we really losing him for nothing? Because we picked up Jamal Crawford. So to me, that's an upgrade just in itself, just off the fact that he can't even sniff the bench at this point, let alone actual PT.
Well, look, it'd be really nice to have Jamal Crawford. And I know you want the shot creator. I think that's what they're using Rajon Rondo for, is to give LeBron a break because they don't want him bringing the ball up the court and handle running the offense.
But Doe runs the offense. I'm a Rondo fan. Rondo is my favorite current Laker. Current Laker. All right, not favorite Laker of all time. Currently on the roster now. Rondo is my favorite. I've loved him since his Boston days. But he's not a shot creator. He's going to set other people up for shots, but he's not going to create his own. You can't throw him the ball in the wing and, okay, everybody get out of his way. We're going to rely on Rondo for a bucket right now.
And, he knocked down 2 3-pointers tonight.
Catch and shoot, though. And I'm not, as much as I love Rondo, I'm not sold on that because I saw that. I've loved Rondo for a long time, and I've paid attention to his game from Boston to Dallas to Sacramento to Chicago to New York. Like, I paid attention to him, and that jump shot is not in his game. That's just something, and he's older now. Yeah. He's in his mid-30s already, so it's not like that's something that he's going to develop. There's going to be nights where he might knock down a couple. Yeah, but it's not consistent.
But see, I guess the thing that I see about Rondo is that when he's bringing the ball up the court and he's running the offense, if he's driving and kicking, that takes a lot out of you as a basketball player. Just running point in general.
Yeah, it's a big load.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want LeBron doing it so much.
Yeah, and that's why, as much as, Rondo is not the greatest shooter in the world, him taking that load off of LeBron, even if it's only like 2 or 3 possessions, 5 possessions maybe if they're really successful, can really help him throughout the course of the season. Whereas Jamal Crawford, he would probably just be playing while LeBron James is on the bench. And you kind of want LeBron out there because then even if you're just using him as a decoy, use him as a decoy. Because he's always out there, even if he's just running the wing.
So do you, as far as LeBron's minutes, where do you come down on this? Because LeBron's feel is that if he warms up and he prepares for the game and he starts playing, there's no difference between him playing 24 minutes or 44 minutes. So how do you feel on that? Because I personally, I would like to keep LeBron's minutes around 28, 29, 30.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the same boat. Because you can't take an old man and have him run.
Here we go.
But you can't have him run 40 minutes.
Yeah,
We'll kill him.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, but so you're talking about only being able to use Jamal Crawford when LeBron's on the bench. Well, if we only want LeBron playing 28 to 30 minutes, then we still have a good 18 to 20 to play with. Now, I feel like if we put Jamal Crawford out there with Rajon Rondo playing the point, Kuz at the 3, AD at the 4, and Dwight, we can.
I don't know about that lineup. That scares the
It's
devil
not
out of
very.
me.
It's not. I'll give you this. It's not very effective defensively on the perimeter, but we got the inside lockdown still because we still have Dwight and AD. On the perimeter is where they're going to get cooked. But you're forgetting about the last time we saw Jamal Crawford on NBA court. He put up 50. He can go get bucket. He's not going to defend anybody.
You're not going to get 50 on this team, though. Like, you're not going to get that.
No, I'm not asking for him to put up 50 all the time. But is he good for 16 to 20 points?
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Off the bench with Kuzma adding another 16 to 20 off the bench.
But can Kuzma?
Can they coexist?
Match? Yes, I don't know about that because every time I've seen Jamal Crawford, just like I've seen Lou Williams play, they don't pass the ball.
Yeah. Yeah,
we're just standing around.
I get that point, and I completely agree. But I just it's something in me.
I trust Kuzma to make the right play. I don't trust Jamal Crawford to make the right play.
So you feel he's kind of selfish in a way, like he's kind of just out there to get buckets.
To his detriment, because he's really good at what he does. Mm-hmm. He's really good at it.
Yeah, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be out there looking to create his own shot.
Exactly, especially when you know you can get him.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes things could backfire on you, especially when he's been cold. Because there have been times when he's cold and he just continues shooting and shooting and shooting. And I used to say the same thing about Lou Williams.
Yeah.
Lou Williams, before he became the shooter he's become now, I used to say that he'll shoot you in a game and he'll shoot you out of a game.
Yeah. I agree, but I recognize the downfalls and the negatives of it and everything like that, but I still want some sort, because at some point we're going to need a shot creator, somebody that can get their own shot. And while Kuz has been stepping up a lot lately, and I was wrong on that last week as well, where I was saying he didn't look like the third man to me. He's been stepping up lately, and we'll get to that later on in the show. But touching on it a little bit here, I don't think Kuz is somebody that you can throw him the ball and he'll go get his own shot.
You know, he won't do it consistently, but he'll, he has that little runner, and he also has the hook shot.
And he has different ways to get you, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as giving the ball on the wing,
no.
Clear out,
no.
And Kuz go to work,
no.
Exactly. Jamal can do that. And at some point in the season, we're going to need somebody other than AD or LeBron that can do that. And
it might be nice to have. This is when I can see it working. If you're in a playoff series against the Clippers and you have Jamal Crawford and Kuzma on the floor at the same time, you won't have as much stress from the Clippers bench as you will. Now, because right now their bench is just outscoring our bench, or at least the last time we faced them.
Yeah, the one time we played them opening night.
Yeah, but if you have Jamal Crawford and Kuzma, I think we can work down their bench scoring. At least their plus and minus versus us.
Mm-hmm. Now, my thing with it is, even if we're not using Crawford for his shot creating ability or anything, I feel like if we run him out there with LeBron, AD, and Kuz, so it's Crawford, Kuzma, AD, LeBron, you literally cannot double any one of those. You can't. So now we may not be asking Jamal Crawford to go out and score a whole lot, the defense still has to stay honest. So now everybody on the floor is working one-on-one. And we can exploit that from any of those four positions, which makes it very dangerous in my mind. I understand that Crawford, like I said, isn't going to give you a whole lot defensively. But I think he'll give us just enough offensively that we can weather that defensive lull, especially if we put him out there with two bigs. Like I said, if we put him out there with Dwight and AD while LeBron is on the bench resting, the perimeter defense isn't going to be great, but you still got those two bigs who are looking to block everything.
Yeah.
Who are looking to grab every rebound. So the defense is still going to be somewhat solid. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to have a lot of weaknesses on the perimeter. So these 3-point shooting teams are probably going to take advantage of that, but in the playoffs, when it slows down, there's not as many 3-point shots taken. It's more methodical. I think that might work for a stretch of 5-6 minutes, and that 5-6 minutes might be the rest of LeBron needs.
Well, I just remembered one of the last reasons why THT will probably be on this roster.
Tell me, because I can't figure out one.
Guess who his agent is?
Rich Paul.
Yep. Enough said.
Damn LeBron.
Well, Cleveland is saying the same thing right now.
That's one of my biggest fears, is that when he leaves, we're gonna end up like Cleveland.
No, I don't think that we'll go down that same road, because he completely screwed them by giving them long-term contracts.
And he's from there. He's from what you think he's gonna do to us. he's a native of Ohio. Okay, he grew up in Akron. 45 minutes an hour outside. He's from that's home.
Hates,
Dan Gilbert. I get it.
He hates
but
him.
he. I don't know. I'm worried about it because, like I said, he's from there. So what do you think he's gonna do to us? He has no loyalties here.
I mean, he lives here now. His son's there.
Yeah, and we saw what he did to Miami when he lived there and his son was there.
I'm pretty sure this is his last stop. People...
No, I think he's going to sign a one-day contract with the Cavs to retire. I think he'll retire as a Cav. So I'll get you on the technicality, but do I think he's actually going to suit up and play for another franchise? No, I don't.
No, but I don't think he's going to move outside of California anymore. I think he's done.
Yeah, but a one-day contract, that's just a ceremony thing. I'm going to go sign this, and then I'm going to say I'm retiring,
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get you on that technicality, which I know you probably weren't thinking about or anything.
Yeah.
But I do agree with your point that this is his last stop where he's actually going to suit up and play.
Yeah. It still boggles my mind that Tristan Thompson signed a large contract.
He didn't know if he was left or right-handed. As an NBA in the finals, he was shooting free throws with different hands and just alternating, like
just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he didn't know what hand what was his dominant. He wasn't good with either one of them, honestly. But I mean, who am I to sit here and bash this guy? And he's in the NBA, and I'm just sitting here making a podcast. So,
well, 5 years, $82 million.
Yikes!
Yeah,
must be nice.
So, yeah, the Lakers are not going down that road. We're not signing some. I don't know who's on this roster right now that would even somewhat deserve
Kuz
that.
is going to get paid soon.
That's like signing Jared Dudley for like $70 million.
What do you give him Kuz at the end of the year?
Kuz is getting big money.
Yeah, big money. Yeah,
He's
of course. He can't get the typical max because of where he was drafted. He was a 27th pick in the first round. So his max, I believe, is going to be a little bit lower, but he's due at the end of the year.
He's going to get like 75?
Probably he might sign 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
And he might get about 60. I'm saying $15 million a year.
Yeah. Wouldn't be wrong. Kuz is getting big money, though. For sure.
And that's something else we'll talk about. All right, so we talked about this enough about this depressing loss to the Raptors and digressed quite a bit. Let's move on to the Suns win. We both had the same thoughts talking about it before we started recording. That despite the fact that we won, it was way too close.
You know what? Like, I'm like back and forth on that loss. That win. Because the Suns have been playing pretty well. I mean, they've been beating teams that frankly, I don't think they're supposed to beat. They beat the Clippers. You know, they handed the Clippers their first loss. I think they're fifth in the NBA.
They beat quite a few good teams.
Yeah.
I believe they beat Philly.
Yeah.
They have some impressive wins. They came out, what are they, 6-4, 7-4 now?
7-4.
7-4. Yeah, they've come out very strong. If you would have told anybody that follows the NBA closely that at the beginning of the season the Suns would be 7-4,
no,
everybody would have laughed at you.
Yeah, I think they won like 19 games last year.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very impressed with them because they're doing it all without DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if he's going to hurt them or help them when he comes back, just because they're playing so well. And things might change between now and because he still probably has about 15 games left to serve on the suspension, right?
Yeah.
So things might change before now and then where they might hit a slump or whatever, but they're playing really well. And I understand that they're a surprise team in the beginning of the season, but I'm still disappointed. I think they should have won that game by a lot more than they did. It was a 10-point game, 112-102 or something like that.
It was 123-115.
123-115. So it was an 8-point game.
Yeah, and they're actually second place in the Pacific right now. I mean, that won't stand that long.
It's not going to stand the test of time. But so they won by 8. I feel like that should have been more of a 12 to 15-point win. And now I'm kind of nitpicking. I understand that. But when you just look at the talent, when you look at the talent on the Lakers roster versus the talent on the Suns roster, outside Devin Booker, there's nobody really to talk of. Yeah, Ricky Rubio, okay.
I wouldn't even say Ricky Rubio.
Aiden is suspended. Kelly Oubre, that's another one of those overpaid players. Like, I don't see a lot there, and they didn't just give the Lakers a hard time. They're giving everybody a hard time.
But you know which player that really gives everyone hell is Dario Saric.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like the 76ers made
what happened to him
mistake
in Philly? Because he didn't play for the first 2 years after they drafted. I understand his rights were owned.
But they moved him to try and sign another player. But I felt like he can stretch the floor.
Yeah, Philly was
cheap.
really
He's
high.
Completely cheap.
Is he still? He's still on a rookie contract, right?
Yes, he's making like $3.4 million.
Yeah,
he's 6'10". He's a really good 3-point shooter. And that's how they kill teams. I mean, not only do you have Devin Booker shooting threes, but you also have Dario Saric knocking down threes.
Devin Booker in that Suns game, he took 1 3 the entire game.
Yeah, but it's a threat.
He took 1 3 and they still only lost by 8. Imagine if he would have took his normal attempts. I don't know what he shoots, probably 5 to 7 a game, maybe a
Probably
little
more
more.
than that.
Yeah, and he's very deadly. Now imagine if he would have took his normal amount of attempts and his average, because he took 1 and he missed it. The Lakers would not have won that. They only won by 8 as it is.
I forgot who defended him that night, though. But I remember that whoever defended him did a really good job on him.
Mm-hmm. He still had 21 points, shot 9 for 18. I'm sorry, he took 2. Took 2 threes. Missed both of them.
Good.
He had 21 and 9. 9 assists.
Wow.
9 for 18 shooting. So he still shot 50% from the field. Played 39 minutes. But that's to see only 2 attempts and no makes for Devin Booker. That's a big thing. Also, Aaron Baines, excuse me.
I don't like him.
He did a number on the Lakers.
I'm just not a big fan of him. I think that he could.
Is that because he's a former Celtic?
No, not even that. I just don't think he does anything. He's just out there. But
You sound like Russell Westbrook.
what?
You sound like Russell Westbrook.
That's another player I'm looking down on.
I love the way he plays, his intensity and everything, but I don't think he's very effective.
Efficient.
Yeah. That's
Austin,
we're not going to go there right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when they play Houston, but
But you know, Monty Williams is really making Devin Booker an all-around player, because before I just thought of Booker as a 3-point shooter,
kind of like Klay Thompson type.
Yeah.
With a little bit less D.
And now he's passing the ball, he's setting people up,
Mm-hmm.
he's running the offense. I'm actually surprised.
I mean, I told you this offline off the podcast. We were talking about who should have been the coach of the Lakers, and you threw out Monty Williams, and you were mentioning how impressed you were. And I'm impressed with him too. I'm giving him all due credit, but as I told you, I think he's more suited for a young team.
Yeah,
a young team, because he can kind of relate more to them. Yeah, mold them and play his style. Whereas with the veteran team, LeBron, AD, Rondo, all these old vets who are stuck in their ways and have been successful at doing things their way, I don't think his message or his voice will resonate as much with a veteran-laden team as it does with the younger team. Because really the only vet he has on the team in Phoenix are
Ricky
Rubio, who's been around for 10 years or so, give or take. Kelly Oubre, but he's still only in his 5th or 6th season. Aaron Baines, who's not going to be somebody that, he either needs to get on board or will move
I don't even know if he fits that team.
Aaron Baines?
Yeah. Because, you have a running up and down style, and Aaron Baines is, come on, he's not the most athletic guy you've ever seen.
But you still got to get some defensive rebounds, and I think that's where his value is at with that team, especially with Aiden out. Which is why I wonder if Aiden is going to hurt them more when he comes back, because Aiden plays a similar style to that. He's more lethal offensively, but Aiden is not going to be getting up and down transition.
No.
So that's why I wonder if when he comes back, if that's actually going to hurt the Suns.
But if Monty has made Devin Booker a more all-around player, maybe he can convince DeAndre Ayton to become a better rebounder. Mm-hmm. Because Ayton he's averaging like 16 and 10, which is good. It's double-double. But it's
he only played like 1 or 2 games, though.
Yeah, but it's not like you think of DeAndre Ayton as some rebounder.
Right.
He's getting rebounds because of height, not because
just
of
his
effort.
pure size, yeah.
Yeah.
He's somebody that gets rebounds, not a legitimate rebounder.
Yeah, I don't think
he'll get them just because they come to him just off his size, but he's not a rebounder, somebody who's going to go get it for you.
Yeah. Like I think of Dwight as a rebounder.
Yeah, because Dwight is playing with that, and he's going to go out and get it. Yeah, he still has the size and the physical gifts and attributes and all that, but he's actually working to get them.
Yeah.
Not just, the ball came to me. Okay. No.
I wish I could do that. If I was 7 foot, I'd play in the NBA.
Get millions of dollars. I don't even care if I'm a 12th man, bro. I don't care if I'm if one night might be active, the next 10 I might be in it. Look, you're paying me well. I get to go to practice every day and into the locker room and see what really goes on in the NBA. And I get the best seats in the house for every game.
Yeah.
On top, did I mention you're paying me well? So it's like, man, who wouldn't want to be in the NBA if you love basketball?
Yeah.
But that game, I don't know. I think that was too close. Like I said, I was expecting a 12 to 15 point win, and I give the Suns all the credit in one point keeping the game that close because up until it really wasn't even that close. Up until the last 2 or 3 minutes, the game was still very much in doubt.
Yeah, I think we were losing that game.
Yeah.
Until we came back in the end. But, the Suns they're gonna beat you by outshooting you on the 3-point line. They're just gonna flat out outshoot you.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you got to close down on the shooters and make them play your style, force your will on them, and you can beat them. But every time you play them, you're gonna have to play them.
Right.
They kind of are in the mold of a young Golden State Warriors team.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily have the Draymond Green, but they definitely have their Steph. And they're, I'd say, maybe one piece away from being legitimate playoff contender.
I don't think they're that far along yet. I think you're giving them a little bit too much credit. But I think they could eventually go in that same direction. I think you hit on it. They don't have that Draymond Green. So they still have to find one of those in the draft. Because in my mind, when you say they're one piece away, I'm thinking of Golden State when they added Iguodala.
No. I'm not saying
when you say one piece away, that's what I'm thinking.
Playoff contention, as in I'm one of the top 8 teams.
Okay. So for playoff, now when you put it in that context, I think it makes absolutely 100% more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be a dark horse this year to even sneak in as a
They might be the next seed. We might play them in the first round.
Nobody would have thought that. Everybody, I would assume, predicted about 25 to 30 wins at the beginning of the season for the Suns. But
I give them 5 more than they had last year. I'm at 24.
They might have that by Christmas.
I know. That's crazy.
So, all right, moving on. After that close, almost dud that the Lakers played in Phoenix, they came back home, which only a 45-hour flight or so from Phoenix. But they came home, played the next night on November 13th against the Warriors, and completely blew them out. I don't know how much that says because the Warriors aren't the Warriors this year, given all the injuries and everything. I can't recall if Draymond played. I looked that up, but I want to say he didn't. But they still, nonetheless, beat them by 20 plus. So 120 to 94, 26-point win.
The sad part about the Warriors this year is that when I look out there on the floor, I don't recognize anybody.
Yeah, it's sad. Draymond did play. So here's the starters for the Warriors that night. Draymond at the 4. Glenn Robinson, 3rd at the 3. Willie Cauley-Stein. Fun fact about him, he changed his middle name to Trill.
Trill?
Trill. T-R-I-L-L.
What does Trill mean?
It's one of the... You dated yourself so much. It's like a slang term for like cool, I believe, in like hip-hop culture for like the millennials.
Oh, okay.
So his name is Willie Trill Cauley-Stein.
Mm.
Yeah, it's something else, man.
That's one of those like those moves you make in your early 20s, and then when you get 30, you're like, oh, what was I thinking?
Whoa, what did I do? At the 2, they had D'Angelo Russell, and at the point, I would assume D'Lo played the point, but one of the other guard was Jordan Poole.
Yeah, see, exactly. I don't know. Look, I've seen them play 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, went to Michigan. Was born in '99, so he can't be much older than a first or second year player in the league.
The other frustrating frustrating thing about the Warriors is that their their uniforms look just like the Lakers.
That was something I want to ask you. Did it confuse? Okay, I might just be dumb or something. I don't know, but it really confused me watching that at the beginning of the game, looking at the screen, seeing it was a Lakers home game, and yet the road team was wearing yellow. So throughout the game, it kind of confused because I'm just so trained to Lakers at home, the yellow team. So I'm looking at and I'm just like, whoa, and I kind of had to readjust. Like for a split second, it caught me like 3 or 4 times throughout the. Am I the only one, or did it mess with you like when you were watching it too?
No, it completely messed with me. And the other thing, Saturday night, my wife and I, we went over to we had sushi, and I believe the Warriors were playing someone that night. I forgot who they were playing, but I swear that it was the Lakers. I was like, wait, Lakers don't play till 6:30. What are you doing out so early? And I was like, oh, that's the Warriors.
Yeah,
but their uniforms resemble the Lakers so much in so many ways now that I have to look at the scoreboard because I'm like, who is this? I'm like, wait, we don't have this player.
Yeah, it was so weird to me. Like, I'm sitting there watching and it's a Lakers home game, yet the Lakers are wearing purple, so it kind of messed with my, like, why am I seeing... It threw me off, and I thought I was just tripping. Like, I thought I was the only one, and I just wasn't smart enough to keep up with it. That's why I kept... But I'm glad to hear that it didn't sit right for some... Well, not necessarily sit right, but it confused somebody else as well, because I thought I was just losing my mind and off my rocker for a night or two. And
No, it wasn't just you.
Okay,
no,
thank God.
And it was Friday night. They played the Celtics. I was like, we're playing the Celtics?
I think that was the night after the Lakers beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that Warriors game, they blew them out. There's not really a whole lot to say there. They came out. I think that was the first time all year that we actually seen this team play 48 consecutive minutes of good basketball.
Yeah. They almost played 48 good minutes tonight, but...
There was about 3 at the end of the first and 3 at the end of the third, 4th and the third. But we'll get... You're jumping ahead, Kevin. We'll try to stay on track. But, yeah, like there's not a whole lot. They moved the ball really well. They had... I think that was like a third consecutive game of 30-plus assists for them, or they just missed it.
They played really well. But it's... I can't give them too much credit.
That's where I'm at, because it's the Warriors, 2-10.
Yeah, it's like the old Warriors before they had Steph and Clay and Draymond. You know, you just go up there and win the game.
The Warriors are not themselves this year. Next year, they're going to be back when they get Steph and Clay and Draymond is fully healthy and probably a top 3 pick.
I feel bad for their fans because they have that new Chase Center.
That first year, it's definitely not ideal how you wanted to open it.
Yes.
But if you look at the bigger picture, they might do what San Antonio did when David Robinson got hurt and they just tanked the season and they ended up with Tim Duncan.
Well, that's the best they could hope for because they are at the bottom.
I feel like they're going to get a top 3 pick.
Think so?
Yeah, they'll be one of the top 3 picks. I think
they're definitely at the bottom of the West.
Well, they'll have the top 3 chances, right? Because the ping pong balls and lottery, they might move down because of that. True. But they'll have one of the top 3 odds of getting a top pick, the top pick, you know? So unless something crazy happens in the lottery, I think you can pencil the Warriors in for a top 3 pick. And then you give them Clay back. Hopefully Steph just sits the rest of the year and is smart about it.
Let's put it this way about the Warriors. The Knicks have more wins than the Warriors.
Oh, I understand, but the Warriors have a better future. Nobody can argue. Yeah, the Warriors.
The Knicks that are thinking about
by one game.
Coach.
Yeah, 3-9 by one game. Yeah, we talked about how dysfunctional that organization was.
They're 3-10 now.
Oh, they're 3-10 now.
They're going for gold.
Okay. Well, they're going to be fighting with the Warriors for the top pick, but they still have D'Lo.
Could you imagine
as a trade asset?
Think about this. Could you imagine the Knicks get the number 1 overall pick, and they have Lonzo Ball's little brother?
See, I would prefer to see him go to Golden State.
Why? Oh, because of 3-point shooting.
3-point shooting, And I'm just hoping for. I'm being an agent of chaos right now when I say this. But do you remember when LeVar came out? Lonzo is better than Steph Curry. What's he gonna say to Steph Curry if his youngest son ends up in the same lot and now he has to actually? You get what I'm saying?
Irony.
Exactly. So,
man.
I mean, I think Melo would be a great fit with the Warriors, but I want to see it more so for just because that's a story that's going to come out. Somebody is going to report whatever happens.
Yeah.
Especially
if Steph lights him up. Well, I mean, he lights everybody up.
But I mean, LeVar is very supportive for everything he isn't, and he might rub a lot of people the wrong way, but he is very supportive of his sons. You may not agree with his tactics of doing it, but he's incredibly supportive. So, what if LaMelo is in that same locker room, and then now LeVar, who is incredibly supportive, he's going to be there.
Oh, my God.
And then now he has to actually own his words to Steph because he's going to be seeing Steph a lot.
Yeah.
Just from being around.
He probably asked him to fire Steve Kerr and hire himself. You know it's coming. It's coming.
I think he would do that in New Orleans first because I think they're really trying to get LiAngelo onto the team in New Orleans. Because I know that Jello is living with Zoe in New Orleans, working out with the same trainer, and I believe coming to practices as well, just to try to get his foot in the door.
Zoe is not doing very well this year.
Zoe wasn't doing very well with the Lakers.
He was doing better with the Lakers than he is doing over there.
The one thing he brought to the Lakers was defense.
Yeah.
I love the defensive intent. He was a lot like Pat Bev.
I wouldn't go that far, but
he wasn't quite the nuisance, so he wasn't as good as Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, but he's
in
longer.
Any sense. But for what he brought to the table, and what he was doing, what he wasn't doing, his game resembled a lot of Patrick Beverley's, just not as high of a level.
Yeah.
So he didn't defend as well. He wasn't as good offensively, which Patrick Beverley is not an offensive threat. But there was times where Zoe was scared to attack the rim because he was only shooting 30% from free throw line.
Oh, man. Imagine a basketball player that's scared to shoot.
Getting to the draft to second overall. And
he's actually better. If I look at his stats, he looks like he's doing better than I saw. Because I saw a night where he had like 2 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds.
Well, I don't think we can really judge him either until Zion comes back.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to be a big part of what makes Lonzo good is having that dominant transition wing because that's what Zoe wants to do. He wants to get on a fast break. Yeah. He wants to throw the lobs. He wants to play that up-tempo, and I think Zion is going to help a lot with that. And then when Jackson Hayes starts getting more minutes, Jackson Hayes is a very long, athletic, big man.
Yeah, I hope so. Because it's not looking good.
Not at all. So you have anything else to add about the Warriors game?
No, the Lakers, they wore them out.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's going to wear them out because they have, they're 2-12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're the worst team in the NBA.
Yeah, like I said, I hope they just take a redshirt year, for lack of a better term, and just pack it in and hope to get a high draft pick, and because I think that's what's best for them now.
I don't even want to imagine the Warriors with the number 1 pick. It still seems unfair.
The number 1 pick, that's a trade asset. D'Angelo Russell, that's a trade asset. You still have the core of that 73-win team.
Yeah.
So for them, I mean, I don't want to see it either as a Lakers fan because I know it's going to be problems for us when we have to eventually run into that. But for them, as what's best for their franchise, I think they need to get in Steph's ear. They need to get in Clay's ear. Like, don't rush it. Just take your time. Come back healthy next year.
There was a report the other day that said he might be out for the year.
Steph?
Yeah.
I read that he was hoping to come back.
Oof.
Yeah, he went the surgery, and it was about a 3 to 6 month recovery time. and he was hoping to be closer to 3 months so that he can come back this year. Which I have the same reaction as you. Like, I don't think that's smart. Right?
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Because people are actually going after him.
Yeah. And I get it. You don't, as a competitor, you don't want to just sit there and lose a year and have an entire year of losing, especially after you just came off dominating the entire league for 5 years. You know, if they would have been healthy, I think they would be Toronto in the finals last year.
Oh, yeah.
That would have gave them 4 championships
Easily.
in 5 years. They really should not have choked that 3-1 lead to Cleveland the year in 2016. So they really, if you look at it, they could have ran the table and had 5 straight consecutive championships.
Yeah, but no one ever runs the table.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I think they need to.
They would have beaten Toronto 4-1 at most. 4-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if they had KD and Clay 5 games. Without KD, I think they still would have won, but it would have been 6.
Yeah.
Now we all know that it didn't work out that way, and Kawhi got his ring. But so moving on to the Kings, that was a close game as well. No De'Aaron Fox.
No De'Aaron Fox.
No Marvin Bagley.
No Marvin Bagley.
Luke's return to Staples Center. I can't get over that. I'm not mad at this man for going and making his money wherever he can. But it really strikes a nerve every time I think of Luke Walton, Sacramento Kings head coach. Just because of that heated rivalry that we had. And I believe Luke was involved in it for a couple years at the beginning of the 2000s. And now he's... Like I said, I understand you got to go make your money. It is what it is. But it's still weird and kind of like, I don't want to say upsetting or frustrating, but it's just about as close as you can get to that. Seeing him on the Kings sideline. Seeing him do interviews with the Kings backdrop behind him. And it's weird to see somebody who
used to play for Purple and Gold.
Yeah, and that's all we ever. And he was a big part in the 2 championships, the last 2 with Kobe. He, were
you ever a big fan of Luke Walton as a coach?
As the coach of the Lakers, yeah. I don't think he should have been fired. I wanted him to come back.
Really?
Yeah, I loved Luke as a coach.
I liked his offense. I didn't like his defense. Like all the things that the Lakers are doing right now defensively, getting their hands up, steals, blocks. Guys are trying to get to the rim. They're swiping the ball out of their hands even before they get the ball up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
None of that happens under Luke. As much as I like Luke, and I like him, none of that happens under Luke.
I feel completely different. I'm 180. I get what you're saying, and I agree about the defense. The defense was horrible last year. But I think that can be more attributed to a young team who doesn't really want to play defense anyways outside of Lonzo Ball because that's about all he can do. And if you would have gave Luke this veteran core, it may have taken him a longer period of time to break through and tap into what they're doing now, but I think he would have got there. And I think that the offense would have been a lot better than Frank Vogel's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, well, the offense would have been better.
Yeah, so I think that Luke was really done in by one not being the guy. Luke was already there when Magic and Rob took over, so he wasn't their guy to begin with. But he was also really affected by having a core of young players who, you're young, you're arrogant, you think you know everything. Look, I'm 20, 21 years old, and I've been a superstar my whole life through middle school, high school, college. I was a top 2 pick in a lot of cases for these guys that he was coaching in the NBA, and I expect things to be the exact same. And young kids, especially younger players, don't understand that they have to adapt and be coachable and, do things differently. That it's not always going to be, I'm a superstar. And I think that hurt him in the defensive line.
Well, some are better at it than others. Like Monty Williams, he's really good with young people.
Good with young players.
So in a competitive sport like basketball, with there only 30 teams, they're going to say, if you can do it, why can't you do it? But everyone knows that report after report that ever came in, Luke got fired because LeBron James expected a better coaching staff to his style, and Luke wasn't willing to budge because he had his guys from Arizona.
Idea, and exactly, and he also had tried to bring the Golden State template.
Yeah.
Because as far as a coach, he was only an assistant up there for a year or two before he got his head coaching job with the Lakers, and he was never a coach anywhere else prior to Golden State. So I think that's what Luke came up with, especially coaching under Kerr, who also played for Phil Jackson, as did Luke. Excuse me. And so I think that Luke had kind of a blueprint as far as what he thought worked and what didn't work. And LeBron didn't buy in, which trickled down, and you had to deal with the immaturity and the age of the young roster, and that made it even harder for them to get on the same page with Luke. And he was doomed from the beginning, but I was really hoping that when Magic resigned that Luke and Rob can work it out and Luke would find a way to stay as head coach.
But you see, like, the difference between Luke and Vogel is that Vogel bought into things that were just handed to him. Mm-hmm. He was like, all right, I'll deal with it. All right, great.
Vogel initially wasn't even interviewed as head coach. He was interviewed as the assistant first when they thought they were getting Ty Lue.
Yeah. So, there's a difference in mentality with Luke and Vogel, but at this point, I'd rather have Vogel. Mm-hmm. I can't believe I'm saying it myself, but I'd rather have Vogel.
Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, and given the results, I mean, after tonight's win, we're 11-2, best record in the NBA. So how can you argue that? But at the time, I was very upset when Luke was fired.
What do you think the record would be if Luke is still on this team?
Probably 7-6, 8-5.
Yeah, probably.
Just because, I mean, you have LeBron AD, you're going to be over 500, or you better damn well be over 500.
You will be fired.
Exactly.
Defensive rating of Sacramento Kings. You know what it is?
I'm gonna say probably somewhere between 15 to 20.
20. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not going to be as strong, but again, younger team. Well, now that team kind of fits what he wants. One, De'Aaron Fox is a monster, or going to be a monster. He's very good. Look at what Lonzo is doing, what De'Aaron Fox is doing, and they're drafted the savior.
Yeah.
But I digress. Marvin Bagley is going to be very good if he can stay healthy. Mm-hmm. That's my one concern with him. Harrison Barnes is a good veteran leader for that team. Rashawn Holmes, he's going to give you. I'm not a big fan either, but as far as a veteran presence, that's what I'm talking about. Like
hard worker,
going to set the tone, going to be very professional, and show the young guys what it means to actually be a professional basketball player. Yeah. Rashawn Holmes is going to do all the dirty work, all the hustle plays. That number 8 they got, that's 88. I can't remember his name.
Bogdanovich?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Bojan.
That guy gets on my last nerve. I mean, how many times do we have a defender in his face with no space to work with, and he still knocked it down? That
last year's game winner over Tyson Chandler.
Yes,
I legitimately thought that I was going to see the same thing
happen again
in this most recent game against the Kings, because the game was going pretty much the exact same way.
It was. I'm a little confused by the roster though, because they have Bogdanovich. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I think you are.
And then they have Buddy Hield.
I completely forgot about. He can shoot.
He can shoot the lights out.
Yes.
Remember, he said he wanted to be a Laker. Mm-hmm. He modeled this game after Kobe. He wears 24, just like Kobe. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh.
Yeah. What about that dunk over
Bogdanovich? There it is.
What about that dunk LeBron had over Jinx? How I can't even pronounce it. 88. I'm gonna just call him 88 because I don't feel like continuing to butcher his name and disrespect him that way.
I thought the funniest thing about that dunk was Corey Joseph's face. Did you see Corey Joseph's face? He was like, dang, did you see that?
Everybody in the crowd had that same reaction except for Larry David. Larry David was the only person who saw that live. I had an amazing reaction when I saw it on TV. But Larry David saw it live sitting in the front row, and he just sat there casual as can be with his feet crossed, just like, okay, I'm not impressed. Everybody else in the crowd, one dude was pulling out his hair, and even Corey Joseph, who was on the court at the time, looked at his teammate and was like, whoa. And LeBron.
I mean, could you imagine being on the other team? The team that got dunked on, and you look at one of your teammates and say, did you see that?
That's soul crushing. But I mean that's the greatness of LeBron. How can you sit here and say, "Oh, we're getting old man LeBron"? Look, he's dunking on people, man.
Young man LeBron had his head near the rim. Old man LeBron, his head's under the rim.
Nobody's arguing that he's losing something.
Yeah,
I mean we all know, but look at what it is.
They used to say that his head was dangerously close to hitting the rim.
Yeah.
And now, the only thing that's dangerously close to hitting the rim is his hand.
Dude, he had a big dunk against the Warriors, I think we skipped over as well, where you felt like AD and Boogie were on the bench looking and wondering, like, is he going to get hung? But he, in 2 straight games, had big dunks, and I get it, the frequency as far as what LeBron used to do the first 7 years in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And even with Miami, is completely different. And if you're below the age of, I want to say, 20 years old, and you didn't get to see LeBron actually balling out in Cleveland, go look at some highlights. If you didn't get to see LeBron in Miami, go look at some highlights. Dude was getting up, and he was doing crazy things, and he was doing this about 2 or 3 times a game where he was literally dunking on people. He dunked on the whole Celtics team in the playoffs.
I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying that he's going to do that, but the fact that he still dunked on somebody against the Kings.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, dude didn't jump.
We don't even know his name.
Yeah. Dude probably didn't have any hops anyways to begin with, but he was still, look up how tall
he was. Trying to take the charge.
Yeah, but he's still about 6'10".
He was hoping and praying. He's like, just give me this charge, please, Lord. Please, just give me this charge.
But LeBron can still get up.
Parts.
He can still get up when the runway is clear.
He still has a fear factor with some players, but he doesn't have the fear factor with star players.
You know who he doesn't have the fear factor with? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Jared Allen. From the Nets with the big afro. He stuffed LeBron last year at the rim. LeBron tried to dunk on him just like he did 88. Jared Allen was there. He actually went up, though, caught the ball at the apex, and just stuffed LeBron. LeBron's there looking like started a fast break.
Yeah, he would. I think he blocked 4 or 5 stars last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, as a shot blocker.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off though. If you remember.
Oh, but
what's your point?
He when he was with Cleveland and when he was with Miami, he had this fear factor, kind of like like Khalil Mack with the Chicago Bears. He had this fear factor with star players. Star players were scared of him. They were like, I don't want to deal with that. But now it's just the other players.
But do you still expect him to be able to do the things he was doing at 25? You can't just be impressed with what he's doing at 35.
I expect everyone to lose their athleticism after a while, but I also expect them to be
able to adapt to it.
Yeah, adapt to it better. Like his post game isn't as good as I'd like it to be.
I agree. I completely agree. That was a great point saying that because I feel the same way. But at the same time, I can still take a step back and put everything in context. Like, this dude is 17th year in the league. Mm-hmm. I said 35. He's still technically 34, but he'll be 35 in about a month. And I can appreciate it from that aspect. I understand it's not as great or amazing as when he was 25 10 years ago. But I remember looking at Kobe when he was 35. I mean, oddly enough, against the Nets in Brooklyn as well. He had that one big dunk over Gerald Wallace.
Yes.
And I don't know Kobe's exact age at the time of that, but he might have been a little bit older. But he had that one big dunk where he split the lane and he dunked on Gerald Wallace in Brooklyn. So he still had flashes of it. But LeBron is doing it and watching it real time. It looked pretty damn good.
That was 2013.
So how old was Kobe? Probably 36, I want to say. He might have been 35. So, yeah.
That's terrible. I don't know how old. Well, I don't follow him that much anymore than that. He's
41. He was born in 79, right?
Yeah, he's 41.
Yeah. 79. So 13. So 21, he was 34. Whoa.
34.
Like, the comparison and...
No, he's 35.
Crazy.
He's 35.
35.
He's 35.
LeBron is coming up on that. And LeBron...
And he still dunked on him.
LeBron is doing... LeBron's dunk was a lot better. Because Gerald Wallace, while he did jump, he kind of was jumping out of the way.
Gerald Wallace?
Kobe, that was on two people, though. It was Gerald Wallace and somebody else.
Yes.
But it was Kobe split him.
Yes.
Whereas LeBron, 88, stood in to take the charge, so he wasn't elevated. But LeBron had to go over him completely.
It was Gerald Wallace and Chris Humphries.
Okay.
Two good defenders.
Kim Kardashian's ex. That's how I know Chris Humphries.
That's the only way anyone knows.
72 days or
I
something
didn't even know
like
who
that.
he was until he started dating her.
Yeah.
I was like, who's this?
Why are you in the NBA? You suck. But I still respect what LeBron is doing because he had the big one, which was uncontested against the Warriors. Then he actually bodied somebody against the Kings. And even tonight against the Hawks, which we'll get to in a little bit, he had a few plays where he was looking pretty young and spry. I have to reiterate this to you all the time because you love to hit me with that old man LeBron. It's not 25-year-old LeBron. I understand. I saw what that looked like. I know the 23 straight against Detroit in the playoffs. I saw all that. I understand. But I can still appreciate it from some aspect. Like, why are you so bitter about it? Why you don't want to give him no props?
I give him props. I mean, come on. He's leading the team. I honestly thought that Anthony Davis would lead the team. Well, Anthony Davis is leading the team in scoring, but he's leading the team.
Rebounding.
Yeah, but LeBron is leading the team as in the pace of play, and he's setting up the offense, and that means more to me because things will run through you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it seems like a Magic Kareem kind of deal,
right?
Where even though Kareem was like the scorer, Magic was still running the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I give him a lot of credit, especially for what he can do with what he has, his arsenal. It may not be as expansive as Kobe's arsenal, but he still has an arsenal that's very effective for this NBA.
Now imagine if he actually adapted his game like Kobe did.
Oh yes, but that's what I expect.
Yeah,
from him.
and I understand that's where you get your frustrations from. And I get a lot of that too. But at the same time, there's still times where he puts me in awe.
Okay, yeah.
Where I'm just like,
the passing.
Wow.
I am in awe on his passing because earlier in his career, I thought he was a willing passer, kind of like the Russell Westbrook type, where he would drive to the lane, get stuck, and just kick it out to an open 3-point shooter, knowing that one of them was going to be there because everyone's in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And now his passes there's reason behind his passes because, a great passer is like Chris Paul. Chris Paul I'm going to set you up on purpose because I'm going to set you up. I'm going to let you dunk on the other guy.
It's just what I do, yeah.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of passers in the NBA where I'm going to purposely set you up so you can get one-on-one or one-on-none. And that's what I see from him now. That's where I see his growth is the passing. He's doing these no-look passes, and he's passing the ball in and out of double teams so he can get a specific person open.
Right. Well, what's interesting, though? When he came into the league, he was more compared to Magic than Jordan.
He should be. That's who he is.
But that wasn't always his.
Because he's
never had the killer mentality.
No.
But he's never been I'm going to, like you said about Chris Paul, I'm going to set you up, my teammate, I'm going to set them up because that's what I do.
Yeah.
While LeBron still had the ability and he had the basketball IQ to say, you know what, that's a better shot than what I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kick that out, and he showed that on game winners as well, which he took a lot of heat for.
Yeah.
He was still more of a scorer than Magic ever was.
Yeah.
And more closely to Jordan. Yes, he was a greater passer than Jordan.
Have you ever seen highlights of Magic Johnson shooting the basketball?
Oh, it wasn't pretty.
Oh, no, not at all. I was like, oh my God. But you can't deny the passing ability of Magic to me, is bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the person he dunked on, his name is Nemanja Bjelica.
Bjelica.
I don't even know who he is, but he averages 10 points. Did I see him score at all in the game? No, I did not.
He had 11 and 4 rebounds.
I don't even remember.
In 23 minutes, yeah.
But yeah, he got dunked on. He's on the long list.
On a poster. You know what's funny too? LeBron, after he dunked on him, stared at him, made eye contact, and did the shoulder shrug twice. Like, you want next possession, I'm gonna give it to you.
Smoke?
Yeah, like, like he
like,
did him
man,
dirty.
My name
man.
is Bjelica. No, I don't want that smoke.
I'm European. I'm friendly. Just let me spot up and shoot my threes. Like, real talk though, 4 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line.
That's not bad.
Not bad, yeah. It's a nice little.
He had a very quiet night. Yeah. Let's put it that way, because I don't remember him scoring. If he did, it's like a assist to layup.
Right. Well, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. So there's 9 of his points right there. So that's basically spot up open threes. Go ahead, stretch the floor. You know.
Yeah. He's like 6'10". He's 6'10". Yeah, he's 6'10". So he's along the lines of those big European 3-point shooters that are tall. You can't really block their shot.
Uh-huh. Dirk.
Yeah.
Started that way.
Yeah, and Dario Saric's the same way.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that enough about the Kings? You got anything else to say? Because they're a lot like the Celtics to me. I hate giving them too much talk, and I don't really like the Kings. So.
Well, no. No one likes the Kings, especially after that series with Chris Webber.
Big Shot Bob, excuse me, knocking down a 3, and Vladdy sitting there in the press conference afterwards. Oh, pure luck. you take that shot, you make it, you miss it, you miss it. And then Rob fired. They told Rob in his press conference when Vladdy had said, Rob fired back. He better check the newspaper. Something I've been doing this my entire career. Like, those were good days with Mike Bibby and Doug Christie and Peja Stojakovic and Hato Turtle. Like, that rivalry was deep for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
like,
best trade ever. Kobe
Vladdy for Vladdy, or Vladdy for Kobe. Yeah.
Yes.
And then he ended up coming back to the Lakers and played with Kobe for a year or two when they had Tom Jonovich come back too and coach and. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was such a mess after they traded Shaq.
I'm going to go down that road.
All right, so moving on. Atlanta Hawks. Let me open this one up. To everybody in Georgia, I am sorry. Mom, I know you now live in Georgia, and you were kind of upset at me for not talking too highly on the Hawks last time we had this podcast, but the Hawks came out here to LA, and they not only got destroyed by the Lakers, 122-101 tonight, but they got destroyed by the LA Clippers as well last night, 150-101.
Back-to-back whooping.
Yes, back-to-back nights in Staples Center. We're not here to talk about the loss to the Clippers, just the loss to the Lakers. So that's good for you Hawks fans. Rejoice about that. But the Lakers came out and they dominated. They were up 26-6. They were up 25 points at one point in the first quarter. My issue with the game tonight, the last couple minutes of the first quarter and the last couple minutes of the third quarter, they kind of let the foot off the gas, and Atlanta came back somehow within 10. And later on in the game, the Lakers were up 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Hawks cut it to 86-96. And they kept clawing back all night. So it was a big win. I think it should have been a little bit easier than what it actually was, though. Because the Lakers let them back in the game. Not necessarily let them back in the game, because I never really felt like the game was in jeopardy at all. But the score was a lot closer than what you would think they should have been.
Which you would be comfortable with.
Yeah, and they did this once or twice. They went to a lineup where LeBron and AD weren't on the floor at all.
Yeah.
It was like Kuz, Howard, Caruso, Cook, and I want to say Rondo.
And I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know how they kept on cutting it down, because they only had one player that scored more than 14 points.
Trae Young.
Yeah. Everyone else scored like 10, 11 points.
Yeah, the next highest on the team was Cam Reddish with 13.
Tasmanian Devil.
You're dubbing that his nickname?
Forget that.
You're dubbing that?
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
I mean, but yeah, they kept cutting the lead down. We kept putting it back up. They kept cutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know what? We won the game by 21 points.
Yes.
It was a good win. Actually, even though he scored 31 points, I expected more out of Trae Young.
But yeah, you mentioned that. I'll let you get to that in a second, and I'm probably going to steal a little bit of your thunder saying this. 8 turnovers in a -16 in the plus-minus.
Yeah.
So 31 points on 11 and 12 shooting looks good. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
7 for 8 from the free throw line. But when you dive into the analytics, not too impressed, which I understand why you would feel that way. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take that away, because I don't really have that opinion of him.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really seen him outside of just watching highlight clips of him.
Where he's not making everybody. And
yeah, making a fool of everyone.
Right.
But today, he definitely got made a fool of. I mean, he kept trying to run the pick and roll to get to the basket or get closer to the basket, and he kept just turning the ball over time after time after time. I was like, look, kid, you just got to learn to go around that screen, score, and then try and work in that pick and roll. But he just kept attacking and attacking. And I was like, it's not working. And I don't think it's him, per se. I think it's the fact that they don't have any other scorers or any other shooters on the floor. So there's no space to work with. And when there's no space to work with, you can't get past LeBron and AD and whoever else is on the Lakers. I mean, imagine if we had Avery Bradley out there. I don't know if he'd get anywhere near the rim. So
yeah, Avery Bradley would have dogged him on the perimeter.
Yeah. So he had a good scoring night, but he also turned the ball over 8 times.
That's the biggest thing, 8 times.
Yeah, that would kill any team. Like my basketball coach growing up, he always said, "Oh, if you have seven assists and you have 5 turnovers, well, you have 2 assists because you killed us 5 times."
Yeah, and I completely understand that. The reason why I said I don't really share your opinion of him. Well, I know that looking into the numbers from the games, and don't get me, I'm not a Trae Young expert. I've seen him play twice. The last game that the Lakers played Atlanta last year in February, right before the All-Star break. I guess it was this year. Last season. And then tonight. And outside of that, it's a lot like you highlights. But I'm not ready to say I'm not impressed. One, for his second year. He's still young. He's 20 years old, 21 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
Second year in the league. For him to become now averaging 30, yeah, I'm impressed by that. I don't like the 8 turnovers. Nobody does. I get that. I don't like the -16 and the plus-minus. And for maybe some of you listening aren't too wise on basketball. When I say plus-minuses, that's basically Trae Young played 39 minutes tonight. When he was on the floor, his team was outscored by 16 points.
Yeah.
So if you're a +10 in the minutes you played while you were on the floor, your team outscored the opposition by 10. So that's kind of how plus-minus works in layman's terms. So in his 39 minutes, they were 16 points worse. But looking at the plus minus, they didn't have a single starter that was in plus. Jabari Parker was -5, DeAndre Hunter -10, Cam Reddish -6, and Jones, who is this? Deontay Jones, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Was -11.
Damian Jones.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Trae Young is he's 21.
Yeah. So young player, still all these players that I just mentioned in the starting lineup. Cam Reddish is a rookie, young player. DeAndre Hunter is a rookie, young player. Jabari Parker, he's been in the league for a bit, but
things hasn't working out.
Yeah, he's bounced around a lot too. Damian Jones, I'm not sure how long he's been in the league. He's 24, so I would assume he's been in the league probably about 3 or 4 years. So he's still relatively young. It's a young team. Yeah. DeAndre Bembry, young.
Do you like the way this roster is even put together?
No.
It seems like a crapshoot.
I like the core of young Reddish Hunter.
Yeah.
I like that core if they can figure out how to build on that. When they start to grow up, I think that'll be formidable, especially out in the East.
Yeah. But did you ever see Trae Young run anything with Reddish or Hunter?
No, I did not.
So it sounds good, but I mean we're only like what? They're
not
13
4 or
games
9,
in.
Yeah, 13 games.
So it might take time, but still, It didn't look like they were even trying to put anything together with the three of them.
Right. I mean, I think the foundation is there just based off all 3 of them are young, all 3 of them have talent. Obviously, they're going to have to figure out how to work it together and make it good.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, they're still years away from contending. But I think that if they do get it together and all 3 develop and mature together, if they build around that, they'll have a solid team in 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be. I'm not too down on Trae Young because he has 7 assists, and it goes back to what your coach said. If you had 7 assists and 5 turnovers, you really only had 2. So he had more turnovers than assists, and I understand that, but the fact that he's 21 and he's putting up 31 and 7, and it's not just tonight. He's been averaging like 30 plus for like the last 5 games.
Yeah.
And last year he averaged, I believe it was 8 assists, 7 assists, 9 assists, somewhere in that neighborhood. So he's a gifted passer. And he had 2 steals as well. So I'm not ready to say he's a bust or he's not good.
No,
I understand that you
he's not a bust at
go
all.
As far as calling him a bust. Yeah. You just said you're not impressed with him.
Yeah,
which I'm not really too impressed with them either, but I still recognize the potential.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's a bust at all. I think if you can put up 31 points in the NBA,
you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're doing something
on some
right.
level, somewhere.
Yeah, but they need to really be able to stretch that floor. And if none of those other guys become a threat, then they're just wasting his talent away.
Right. I mean, like I said, the next 2 brightest spots on that roster, DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, rookies. Yeah, Jabari Parker could ball a little bit.
Yeah, 11 points.
Not too. Yeah.
I mean, I expect way more out of him.
That's the thing about him. He does that regularly, but then there's nights where he'll come out and he'll drop 30 or 40. But he'll revert right back to this garbage that we see.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't understand how he made it at Duke, playing for Coach K, as inconsistent as he is. Because Coach K, he likes his consistency, and Coach K is more of a professional coach than a college coach. He has that juice, and I don't understand. But Cam Reddish is another Duke guy that played for Coach K, and
Cam Reddish didn't play all that much at Duke, so he might have missed a lot of those lessons.
I mean, if he was smart, he would have been around the coach and trying to be a sponge as much as possible. What about Chandler Parsons? 2 minutes, no shots.
Is Chandler Parsons still on that?
No rebounds.
Terrible contract. He had one of the worst contracts I have ever seen in my life.
Dude, Chandler Parsons didn't do a single thing as far as the stat sheet. He has zeros in all categories except plus minus, where he was a minus 10. Didn't have a single rebound, assist, point, shot, free throw, nothing.
Wow.
And he played 2 minutes.
Well, he's on the last year of that terrible contract.
Yeah.
That last year. You know how much he's making this year? I mean,
Probably somewhere between 20 and 25.
25.
25 million.
He can buy the whole team lunch.
25 million. Yeah, he'll be out of the league after the end of this year. If he comes back, it'll be a vet minimum.
I mean, he signed what? He signed a 4-year, $94 million contract.
Yeah. I think Memphis gave it to him.
It was
Dallas. Was it?
Yeah, they're desperate.
So that was before he went to. You stay talking bad about the Mavs. that was before he went to. Did Dallas trade him to Memphis, or how did he get to Memphis?
I mean, if you're making like 4 years, $94 million, I'm sure you're gonna.
Because I know he started with Houston, and he played very well for them. That's what got him the 4 years, $94 million.
Yeah, because he was shooting the three very well, and now he has I think his wrist is messed up. So now he's making $25 million. Well.
They talked about that on the broadcast when I was watching the game. This was actually his first game all season. He hadn't played before tonight.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Meanwhile, Allen Crabbe gave you 15 minutes and 11 points.
I like Allen Crabbe.
I'm not big on him.
No?
Not big on him.
He's pretty good at when he was at, I think, for the Cal. And then,
I know he played for Portland for a bit. And then last year he was in Brooklyn. But I'm not big on him.
He can get you some buckets. And he doesn't work too hard to get them. He's a good three-point shooter. He'll score a little bit, and he'll defend a little bit. But he's definitely a bench guy. And the thing I like about him the most is that he can get you some buckets, and he knows who he is. He doesn't try and do too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's stop talking about the Hawks. Again, all my people in Georgia, I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we're giving you guys. You can be mad at me all you want. Still hit that like and subscribe. Let's move on to the Lakers. AD, depressing night with 14 points. But he had 5 blocks.
But we talked about, earlier, we said, I feel like they had a high school defense against him playing like the box and one because there's a box surrounded around him. And he had nowhere to go. Yeah. So he was going to have a terrible night. And it looks like the Hawks were saying, they're sending the message, just don't let AD beat us. Mm-hmm. Anybody but him. We'll let LeBron. Out of all things you would ever imagine a team trying to do is say, hey, I'd rather have LeBron beat me than AD beat me.
I think we had this conversation before we started recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to catch you guys up on, sometimes we talk about things that we talked about off the air or whatever you want to call us. But just before we started recording, Kevin was upset that he saw the box and won. And I was trying to explain to him that I think this is what we're going to see more often in the fact that teams are going to start having to pick and choose who do they want to get beat by, AD or LeBron. And just based on age and mileage and effectiveness right now, a lot of teams are going to choose to take AD away. And let's see what LeBron can do at the later end of his career. We keep talking about it. 35 years old, 17th year in the league, So I think a lot of teams are going to look at that and say, let's see if LeBron can do it tonight. It's crazy. But isn't it just as crazy to say, you know what, we're going to shut LeBron down and AD go.
I'd rather have AD beat me because I've seen AD have a fantastic game scoring.
And still lose.
Yeah, and still lose. Just like he was doing the years prior. When he was with the Pelicans. He was with the Pelicans. Games.
He didn't have somebody like LeBron. Hell, he didn't have even somebody like Kuzma. All respect to Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is great defensively. Drew Holiday can run an offense. Drew Holiday can go out and get you 15 to 20 points every night with 7, 8, 9, 10 assists. Great player. I'm not knocking Drew, but he's not the offensive threat Kuzma is.
Yeah. No, you're right. But still, I would have worked with what I've seen done before. Not, hey, let me reinvent the wheel and show the entire NBA that I can get LeBron James to beat me. Because we've all seen it happen. year after year. I mean, with the 9 straight finals. I mean, why do you need to relive this moment?
Age. Like you keep saying, old man LeBron. So people are going to say, I'm going to take my chances with old man LeBron rather than young puppy AD who wants to now dominate and kill everybody just to show the world, because people forgot who AD was in New Orleans. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So now AD has a big stage. He's on national television 35 to 40 times a year. A season. He has this platform, and you know he's going to take advantage of it, especially he's a free agent next year.
But I'm taking old man LeBron at the end of the season, not in the beginning. We're 12 games in. I'm not taking young old man LeBron. I'm like, you know what? He just got out the gym working out, so no. But during the 70th game, 75th game, 80th game, yeah, I'm taking old man LeBron.
Okay.
Because by then he's worn down.
Yeah. So you're just not ready to do it yet.
Yeah. No. Got to play it smart.
I don't know. I feel like if I was Atlanta, I would take a similar approach. I
mean, all in all, he still had 14 points, 5 blocks, 5
assists.
Yeah. So he had a solid game.
The rebounds were really down. He finished with 1. Oof. And he didn't get that until the end of the third. This man is top 5 in rebounds over the season, averaging over 10. Top 5 in the league, and he was held. That's unexcusable to me. I didn't like that. Aside from them going up 30 and letting the Hawks come back to within 10, if that 1 rebound might be just as upsetting, maybe not even more. Because how are you Anthony Davis and you get 1 rebound? It's not like you were playing a dominant big man. You're not playing a Joel Embiid, a Jokic, a Kevin Love, a Whiteside, a monster on the boards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're playing Atlanta, who got beat by 49 against the Clippers the night before.
But then again, had like 4 guys around them. I mean,
you still 1 rebound.
Yeah, I know.
1 rebound.
1 rebound's like I'm not even gonna give the effort.
You want to know who out-rebounded him? Kuzma. Howard. Rondo out-rebounded him. Troy Daniels out-rebounded AD. In a whole 16 minutes, Troy Daniels had more rebounds.
Well,
those are probably the only 2 rebounds Troy Daniels has had all year. And he out-rebounded AD.
Let me see how many rebounds.
I don't think you can excuse this, man. Like, 1 rebound, bro. Come on now, 1 rebound.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I can't go that far. AD, I love everything he's been doing. His hustle, his energy, his defense, his scoring. He's doing it. 1 rebound tonight. If I'm Vogel, if I'm Kidd, if I'm Hollins, if I'm anybody on that coach, you got to let him know, like, I'm not saying, like, belittle him, but show him the stat sheet and tell him, look, circle that. You know?
Yeah.
Kind of motivate him a little bit. Light a fire under him. Like, let him know that's what you got, 1 rebound? That's what you're doing?
Troy Daniels has 16 rebounds on the season.
Oh, excuse me. AD put up 20 in 1 game. AD had a 40-20 game, didn't he?
Yeah.
So AD 1 game out-rebounded Troy Daniels for the whole year, but Troy Daniels had more rebounds than AD did tonight. Do you get what I'm saying? It's that bad. Like, thank God they won. Thank God they were playing a subpar team that's going to be contested for a top 5 pick, you know? But you can't
get 1 rebound.
Danny Green out-rebounded him.
Yeah.
KCP had as many rebounds.
Oh, yeah. We need to give KCP some love.
Yes, we do. We will do that in a bit. But yeah, other than that, LeBron 33, 12, and 7 with a steal and a block.
You know, he hasn't been rebounding that much lately.
I've noticed since those triple doubles, he's kind of
like
slowed down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. That's okay. Because I'm counting on AD. Well, maybe I shouldn't count on AD tonight. But I'm counting on AD, McGee, and Howard to just clean everything up down low.
Yeah.
So I'm fine if LeBron only averages 3, 4, 5 rebounds a game. I'm fine with that because I'm just assuming that the three big men are getting all those rebounds.
Yeah. Did you know that they're as a team they out rebounded the Lakers tonight?
They got out rebounded tonight?
Yeah, 51-49.
I believe that's second straight night. I think the Kings out rebounded them as well.
Well, that is one of my issues with the Lakers. Rebounding. I mean, I feel like we have the three of the best rebounders in the NBA. You have
the Lakers got the Kings by 48-47.
That's still unacceptable.
Yeah.
They're not even as tall as us.
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
like one of the tallest teams
without
in the NBA.
Bagley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the rebounding was really good to start the season. It's just been down.
Well, that's
as of late, which I can't figure out an explanation for.
If I have any criticism of Frank Vogel, you're a defensive coach. So all defensive coaches work on blocking shots, work on tipping balls, get your hands up all the time, and rebounding. Rebounding is part of defense. Oh, and if I didn't mention steals, I meant steals. But still, like, we can't get out-rebounded by smaller teams.
Right.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially with how they came out focused on it. And they were killing everybody.
Yeah.
Now, the points in the paint, the Hawks, averaged the same amount of points in the paint as the Lakers at 54 a game. And I believe the Lakers dominate the points in the paint as far as scoring. No, they didn't even dominate. They still outdid the Hawks, but it was close, 52-50.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, there was a lot of good to take away from this game against the Hawks. The 14 blocks, the 9 steals, the 26 assists, the 81.3% free throw percentage, and that's something I wanted to get to later on as well because LeBron has not been shooting free throws well. Minus the Kings game, that's true. But minus the Kings game and tonight, every other game he hasn't been shooting them well. And that was an issue with the whole team last year.
Oh,
that was a big topic, free throws. We couldn't make our nobody, it was like a cancer throughout the whole team.
Yeah, that's another frustrating thing about Luke. Like, you can't be an offensive coach and then not have a good free throw shooting team.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to hold that over Luke too much because that comes down to just the players. You got to be able to make your free throws. You got to.
Yeah.
I don't care if Luke would have had a 3-hour practice and all he did was have everybody take 1,000 free throws. They might make 700, 800 of them. But for whatever reason, they got into the games last year and they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were seeing that a lot this year as well. Until, especially LeBron against the Kings, he didn't miss a free throw. Tonight, I'm not sure what he did. I think he didn't miss a free throw tonight either. Maybe missed one. Might have. I'll check that for you. But there's a lot of positives to take from tonight against the Hawks. But when you dive into it and dig a little bit deeper, the numbers don't really look good.
No, the only thing we did better than them was we shot better than them, and we should because we're older or we have more.
And just the talent we
veterans.
have,
yeah. But we actually shot better from 3 than them, which is surprising. If you look at the rebounds, they out-rebounded us. They got more steals than us. They forced more turnovers. They almost had as many points in the paint.
The assist, we won by 10.
Yeah.
So that was another good thing we did.
If you only looked at the team stats, it looked like the game would have looked closer than it actually was.
Yeah. Especially given the fact that the Lakers led wire to wire. They never trailed.
Never trailed.
And at one point they were, like I said, up 30.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, a 21-point win, when you look at the final score, it's like, okay, that's a good one. But they really... I'm with you. The game should have been closer than what it actually was. And I can't get out. I'm happy that they won, but I don't think this was a good win.
No.
Like, one, for starters, this was something that we expected they should have won.
Yeah. So you can get your version of load management by getting LeBron James to set that entire fourth quarter.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Who wouldn't want that? Yeah. I don't care what LeBron says. If him playing 5 minutes is the same as him playing 45, okay, that's cool. But you know what? If I can cut and shave 6 minutes, 7 minutes off your playing load for the season, yeah, that's going to add up.
Yeah.
Just like your playoff minutes added up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me cutting some minutes when I can. So LeBron can sit there and say everything he wants, and science, I don't know what science is behind it, but if you're cutting minutes, that's some type of load management.
Yeah.
I don't care if you warmed up and you got ready for the race and you didn't race. Well, you didn't race. So you load managed. So they were looking good up until LeBron and AD came out of the game in the second quarter, and Kuzma couldn't carry it. Or he wasn't carrying it tonight, I should say.
He had a solid game.
He had a solid game, but when he was out there on his own, without LeBron and AD, and this is why I say you need to stagger LeBron and AD and supplement it.
You do.
With Kuzma.
You do. You can't sit them both down at the same time.
Yeah, because we saw it against a bad Hawks team.
Yeah.
A bad team, and the bench let him back in.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that against a good team, you might not survive it. So, although I'm happy that they got the win, and that's a mark in the W column and not the L column, that's great. That puts us at 11-2.
Were you happy with the Kobe sighting?
Oh, very. Biggest Kobe. Matter of fact, I got the Kobe book right here. The Mamba Mentality.
Oh, you ordered it.
Oh, yes. The Mamba Mentality. How I play. Literally sitting right here. Ain't read a lick of it yet. Look at the pictures. Haven't started reading it yet, but yeah, it's literally right here on the table. And I'm going to have to read that, but I was very happy.
Yeah.
We got...
You got a standing ovation as he walked
When
out.
was the last time he in the arena? When he got his numbers retired. He hasn't been back since. At least they haven't said so.
I thought he was back last year. No, he didn't go back last year. It might have been
Why
the
would
year
you go
before
see that garbage? Come on, man. You act like Kobe got time to do that.
He could always take a helicopter.
I wish I had a helipad, man.
I wish I had this helicopter.
Oh, something.
I would never be late.
Something. But, yeah, I was very happy with the Kobe side. If you want me to get cynical about it, I don't think he was quite there for him. I think his daughter just wanted to go.
I can see that.
So he was doing it for Gigi. Because he didn't have Vanessa and the other 3 girls.
No.
It was just him and Gigi. So I think Gigi just actually wanted to go out and...
Have you seen her fadeaway jumper?
Oh, yeah, that video? Just same like, thing as Kobe. Oh, God, man.
I'm like, oh, my God, you had the Kobe fadeaway jumper, and you're like, how old is she, like 13?
I think she's 15 now. He wants her to play at UConn for Gino or Yema or whatever.
UConn. Oh, these WNBA players.
Yeah.
Or women's basketball players. All the ballers go to UConn.
Am I jumping the gun on this? That she's going to get to that WNBA. We know this. Am I jumping the gun by saying she might eventually become the best female basketball player of all time?
That would be very, very, very difficult. I mean, Taurasi, Maya Moore.
But look how good this girl is already. And she's going to continue to grow up under Kobe. And if Kobe has his way, she's going to UConn, playing for the greatest women's coach of all time.
I think it depends on how tall she'll end up being.
She's already pretty tall. She's like 5'9", 5'10". Already. For a woman, for a man, for a male, that's where you could say, But for a high school girl, look it up. I believe she's 5'9", 5'10".
How tall is Maya Moore? That's my question. Because she's
probably about 6
she's
foot.
a baller.
Maya Moore is probably about 6 foot. I know Skylar Diggins is like 5'10", 5'11".
I'll take Maya Moore over Skylar Diggins any day.
I like Skylar Diggins' game.
Maya Moore is 6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said 6 foot, 6'1". How tall is Gigi? Can you look that up? Gianna Bryant. Yeah, because I think she might eventually turn out to be the greatest women's player of all time.
I mean, if
it's a big order, especially with Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker and all the prior sparks that they've had.
Yeah. Oh, you know she would want to play for the Sparks.
Yeah. But I think just from what I've seen, Kobe has been coaching her team.
Is she playing for Sierra Canyon too?
Is she really?
Oh my God, I didn't even know that.
And neither did I. So she goes to school with LeBron James' son, and Dwayne Wade's son, and Scottie Pippen's son.
Yeah.
And her.
There's some straight ballers.
Can we throw her onto the boys' team?
And shit, some straight ballers.
Can we throw her onto the boys' team and have her just run point?
Oh, man.
Like,
I don't know how they made that happen, but whew.
That's crazy. I didn't know. I didn't know what high school she went to.
Wow. Straight ballers.
But we got way off topic with this. Yeah, tonight there was a lot of good things and bad things, and I'm going to leave it at that. Do you have anything else to say about Talks?
No, just the rebounding. The rebounding is really pissing me off.
What about points in the paint? You happy with that? 52-50? Both teams averaged 54, so both teams were under their average.
Well, they get a lot of points because
putbacks and transition.
Putbacks and Trae Young likes to run the pick and roll. He ran it a lot better the second half than he ran the first
floaters,
half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get points in the paint for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at points in the paint as I used to because you have more 3-point shooters these days, so it can't be the be all end all.
Right.
But
all right.
So it was a solid game. I'll take the win. 21-point win. I can't hop around that much.
I'll tell you this. I'll take the win. Like I kept saying, I'm glad we got the win. Do I think it was a good win? No. So if I'm Vogel, I'll take the win. But you know what? In practice tomorrow, the team is going to pay. I'm going to treat the team like we lost. Because, yeah, we won by 21 points, but as you and I both said, it should not have been that close at all.
Yeah.
They were up 30 for God's sake and let them come back to within 10.
Yeah.
With the team with nobody.
No, but a bunch of nobodies outside of Trae Young.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Injury bug. This is what we have been hoping not to get hit by. And here we are, 13 games in. It actually started before this. And we're getting hit by it. We'll start with AD, Anthony Davis. He injured the shoulder early on in the season, probably within the first handful of games. Kind of played through it. And when they were in Phoenix, took a shot to the rib and actually had to sit out the Warriors game, which we already went over. The Lakers still won, but he had to sit that out, and he was able to come back for the Kings and Hawks tonight. But just the fact that he had to sit out and given his injury history is enough to kind of worry me a bit. How do you feel about it?
Anthony Davis is going to be Mr. Forever injured throughout his tenure in LA. You just have to get used to it now. He was forever injured in New Orleans. He goes all out. He doesn't, I don't want to say he doesn't play smart, but there's no chill in his game. He's going all out every game. Even when I see him going after sometimes like meaningless rebounds, no one's around him. He's like way up in the air. I'm like, bro, you can kind of coast it sometimes.
Yeah, he has that motor where he either goes 100 or he doesn't go at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I'm seeing him try to make those extra hustle plays and save a ball from going out of bounds or dive on the ball to get an extra rebound. I'm not saying this is a diabolical plan as far as he's trying to pad his numbers or anything, because I do believe he's doing it genuinely for the team. But
yeah,
I texted.
You don't want to coach that out of him.
Yeah, exactly. But I texted this to you in particular that I cringe every time I see him hit the floor.
Ugh. Yeah.
Because who knows when he gets up what's going to be wrong with you. And I've already seen throughout 13 games, look, you're dealing with the shoulder and then the ribs. And freak accident, some of it, and just dumb luck or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. He's still dealing with a shoulder and ribs. Yeah. And the shoulder it's his shooting side. It's his right shoulder, so it's his shooting arm. So that just makes it a little bit more serious. If it was his off shoulder, okay, you can kind of play through it and manage that because you're not putting so much stress and strain on it by having to shoot the ball, especially as many shots as he's taking. So I get really worried about that, and because if he goes down for an extended period of time, that might, especially if it happens at the end of the season.
If he goes down, this whole team is going down because he's leading us in scoring.
Exactly. Rebounding as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know LeBron will pick up a little bit of that scoring and he'll pick up a little bit of the rebounding and he'll do what he can, but if it happens around playoffs, if AD misses, say, a series, that throws a big monkey wrench into everything.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about that. We also have Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley.
He got injured in that San Antonio game. We assumed after MRIs came back negative, we had assumed it was just a contusion, which is basically like a bruise and swelling. But it was actually a hairline fracture to a non-weight-bearing bone in his leg when he got kicked by DeJounte Murray. And he actually exited the game when it happened and everything. But he's listed as 1 to 2 weeks, and he's going to get sorry for the stutter, he's going to get an MRI in a week or two to kind of diagnose where he's at and hopefully be able to come back then. But that's another injury. That's probably our best perimeter defender.
Best perimeter, yeah, definitely.
So that's a big major factor. And I think had we had Bradley out there on Trae Young, his game would have been a lot different than what it actually was. D'Lo would have had a lot different game than what it actually was. I believe he played against Phoenix, so we can't really say too much about that. But that's a definite injury that I don't think it's going to hurt them long term.
I think when he played on Phoenix, he was on Devin Booker, and that was one of Devin Booker's worst games.
Right. But that's an injury that's going to hurt us long term because not only is he going to be out for a week or two, but then that throws off his whole rhythm. So when he comes back, it's going to take a couple games for him to get back into that rhythm and that groove and be back where he was at. And that's assuming that he only misses a week or two. He might miss 2 to 4.
Well, you just have to look out on matchups like November 23rd, the Lakers play Memphis.
With Ja Morant.
And if he's out December 3rd, we play Denver.
Jamal Murray.
December 4th, we play Utah.
Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley.
And I hope for God's sake he's back by December 6th because we play Portland.
Dame and CJ. He should be back by then. That gives him about 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, because Dame will.
Yeah.
Dame is going to cut us up if we don't have.
Dame might cut us up even with Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
I love Dame.
Yeah, I feel like he's the most dangerous guy in the NBA.
Yeah, so I'm worried about that. An overlooked injury though is Troy Daniels actually tweaked his knee somehow, which is why he hasn't been playing recently in the last 3 or 4 games. So I don't know really what's going on with that too much, but
we don't need him as much.
We don't need him as much, but
not right now.
Yeah, it's kind of when you start getting hit by injuries, you get hit by, and we saw this a lot last year. When they start getting hit, everybody started going down. You know.
Yeah, it starts making me worry about the training staff.
Exactly. So it's making me nervous that now we're at 3 guys, and next we're gonna get that 4th, and I'd rather just keep the injuries down to a minimum completely, you know, like perfect world, I don't want anybody to get injured, you know.
Yeah.
But that is something to look at as well because Troy Daniels can get hot.
Yeah, because if we have any more injuries, you know, Jared Dudley's going to start getting real minutes.
Exactly. We might have to go to Taylor Horn-Tucker, who I asked earlier, why is he even on the roster, you know? So it's concerning. The good news is that we're 13 games into the season, so we still have 68 more, 67 more. I'm not the best mathematician, but somewhere around there left in the season. And I don't want to continue to talk about this injury and bug and jinx it or anything, so let's move on. And even though we've been dealing with these injuries, Kuz came back from his injury really well.
Kuz is back.
Let me own this. I said last week that he wasn't looking like that third option to me. Look, I didn't give him enough time. I don't know what it is, but he's looking hot this last week, these last 3, 4, or 5 games. 50%. He's shooting good from the three-point line. He's averaging like 18 to 20 points. He's looking like he has a swag back too.
Yeah, wasn't he shooting like 13%?
Yeah,
it was ugly.
You brought that up last week. I didn't.
I was like, oh,
but yeah. So
13%.
Kuz is back and he's balling, which is what I wanted to see, despite being wrong. And now he's looking like that legit third scorer, though.
Yeah.
Especially coming off the bench. And like I said, the way I want to see Kuz play is you're going to stagger LeBron and AD, and when one of them goes out, you insert Kuz. So you still have 2 legitimate threats on the court at all times. Whether it's Kuz and LeBron, or Kuz and AD, or LeBron and AD, or we saw it against the Warriors tonight. It's unacceptable to have LeBron and AD on the bench at the same time, unless it's at the end of the game when game's in hand.
Yeah.
Or one of them is sitting out due to injury or whatever. But
yeah, he's playing really well. I think his shot, he's probably been working on his shot first, and then later on, the little hook, the runner he has will come next, because he's kind of like playing him way back into basketball shape.
Right.
And, Rondo was injured too. I mean, since we're talking about injuries, and he looks okay.
Rondo looked really good against Phoenix. It was like 6 assists, 7 assists, and a limited amount of minutes. Oddly enough, Rondo, we talked about AD, and I go back to the Hawks game tonight. AD not having a rebound until late in the third quarter. Rondo didn't have an assist until late in the third quarter.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's like Rondo and AD, that's what you're at. Those 2 players are out there to rebound, in Rondo's case, assist the basketball. And neither one of them was really doing that until literally like the last minute of the third quarter. And so I'm hoping that Rondo can come back healthy. And when you do have Kuz on the floor, because Kuz isn't going to create his own, that's when you use Rondo. Bring the ball up and whatever. Maybe you can use Rondo in a closing lineup. My issue with that is Rondo isn't the defender that he once was. He's very much a shell of himself defensively, and analytics last year, he was one of the worst defensive players in the entire league last year. So that's my concern with Rondo, but I do love Rondo. I want him to get more minutes, but I think we have to find spots, and I'm hoping that playoff Rondo is an actual real thing.
Maybe he's just saving himself for the playoffs.
Right, because his game completely changes in the playoffs, and he becomes a triple-double machine. And we saw it in New Orleans. When he was with AD in New Orleans, and they went to the playoffs, there was a game where he had like 15, 20 assists.
Yep.
So
that's what you're betting on.
He turns it up in the playoffs, definitely, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to do that this year as well.
Yeah, Lakers with the Lakers, they're basically putting $1 million on black, hoping that they can replicate those same results.
Right. But Kuz, what's the shooting? Did you pull up his stats? Let's pull this up, because his last 3 games. I'll pull up tonight. You pull up for the season. Kuz tonight. He shot 6 for 14, so it was a down night shooting. He did shoot 3 for 6 from 3-point line, though, so that's good.
Yeah, he shot 50% from 3 tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hot.
For the season, He's
still at
32.7, yeah, from 3, 45.2 from field, though.
But 32 is a lot better than 13.
Yeah, he's on his way up. That's mirrors more closely to what his career averages are.
Yeah, and I think he can shoot a legit 45-50% from three this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's definitely picked it up in the last few games. Kind of saved himself because it got ugly there for a minute. It really did. It was bad. And last week I was wondering if he was our third option or if we need to
go out and get someone else.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been turning it around, and I believe he had 3 or 4 straight games with 20-plus points as well. So that was very nice. And he's doing all this coming off the bench. I don't want him starting anyways, but he's doing it coming off the bench, which kind of makes it that much better, too.
Well, even though, so he might not be starting, but I want him closing the game in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that as long as it's not Portland. Because Portland with Dame and CJ and now Melo, we might need a little bit more defense.
More size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas I don't really trust Kuz's defense just yet.
Okay. Yeah, his defense last year was terrible.
Yeah, against damn near anybody else.
His defense was terrible last year, but Luke always had him at like the 4.
Yeah, where he's undersized, I
was like, why, Luke? Why? And you keep doing it. Defensive things about Luke,
Well, they came last year. Yeah, I don't mean to talk about last year too much, but last year they came into the season and what they thought their death lineup was going to be, their quote unquote death lineup, like the Warriors have, was going to be Lonzo, Hart, Ingram, Kuzma, and Braun at the 5. So they were going to try to use LeBron in a small ball way, kind of like how the Warriors did Draymond.
Yeah, LeBron's
and then
not doing that.
And have Kuz at the theoretic 4.
Yeah, LeBron's not doing that. He doesn't like being in the post. He's already told people, I don't like the post, even though I think he could take advantage of most people in the post.
Oh, definitely, just from size and just pure strength.
Yeah, he's too fast for the power forwards. He's too quick for the rest. But still, he's not doing that.
Yeah, I agree. But Kuz has been balling lately, and I hope it continues. And I hope that once AD gets fully healthy and Avery Bradley comes back, that we'll be good to go and just able to finally gel as a complete team and see what we really have. But I'm very impressed with Kuz and the way he's fitting in around AD and LeBron.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron needs to empower him more to take control coming off that bench and kind of be what Lou Williams is for the Clippers for us. I get it, there's different players, completely different styles of playing, but if he can bring us what Lou brings them off the bench as far as a legit option that you have to worry about and game plan for, then you can't do any better than that. Because most teams in the NBA, they don't game plan for these 6 men or anybody coming out. If you make a team have to game plan for somebody coming off the bench, a lot like the Lakers did with Lamar Odom back in the day, that makes them dangerous.
Yeah.
That makes them really dangerous. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, especially with LeBron and his willingness and success rate of taking and making threes. Because I haven't seen this from LeBron where he's so willing to take so many.
Yeah.
But he's making about 50% of them.
Well, he used to shoot them early in his career. He was terrible at it.
Yeah, the first trip in Cleveland, but that was the game plan. When he played the Spurs in the finals the very first time, I think it was 2006.
Yeah, make a wall.
Yeah, make a wall, lay off, let him take that 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Pop swept him.
Yep.
His but
so many bad things about that series.
Yeah, but even in Miami, LeBron wasn't this willing to take a 3.
No.
He would take it if he absolutely had to, and he was able to get his percentage up a little bit higher, closer to high 30s, low 40s.
Yeah.
But he wasn't this aggressive with it or willing to take it. It was small sample sizes.
It's nice to see that he's somewhat willing to adapt to the new style of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're coming into the NBA now and you can't shoot, oh, good luck keeping your job.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Especially, that's everything. I mean, there's 7-footers who, Taco Fall is a fringe guy. He would have been a building block 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not very muscular, but the fact that he was 6'6", Sean Bradley is the perfect. Sean Bradley made a career for 10 years in the NBA, couldn't do anything, but he was so big.
Yeah.
You know, like, and now Taco Fall is like fighting just to get onto the NBA roster, and he's going up and down between the G League and the NBA, so it's a completely different era. But I'm still surprised that LeBron's able to make them so consistently. Like he's making the last few games, he's at like 50%.
Wow.
And not only has his three picked up, but his free throws have picked up. Where LeBron has never been a historically good free throw shooter or three-point shooter.
Ever.
Yeah, ever in his career.
I mean, you just have to know going in, that's what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to live with it because everything else is so great.
Right. But the fact, I love the aggression. Even if he's not making them, just the fact that he's willing to take. Now the defense has something else to worry about. But the fact that he's making them,
yeah,
it's a lot like
this game.
Yeah, from three. What, 3 for 5 from three or somewhere in there? Yeah, and I believe the last few games before that he was up around 50% from the 3-point line. I'm sure his season average is still not anything to like eye popping or anything,
34%.
But it's on the way up.
That's pretty much who he is all his career.
But the last week or so, minus the Raptors game, he's been knocking it. So the Suns, the Warriors, the Kings, and the Hawks, the last 4 games, he's been knocking them down, and he's not been afraid to take them. He'll take them in half-court sets when he'll just isolate somebody and give them the 1-2 through the legs and a little step back and knock it down.
He's actually 6 of 10 tonight. Took 10 threes. Took 10 threes.
And like I said, his willingness to actually take it. You wouldn't have seen that earlier in his career.
No.
And I'm loving what he's doing right now. If he can continue this, I know it's going to come back to earth a little bit because you can't maintain 60% for the whole year.
No.
But if he can be up around that 45, 47 mark, he's going to be dangerous, especially what he can do in transition, especially his playmaking, everything. Like as a whole, a lot like Giannis. Giannis ever develops a 3, that holds a whole another dynamic.
If Giannis develops a 3,
it's over for the NBA.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. There's a new king in town.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to throw this one over to you because this is your guy. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Take it away.
Oh. So, right now, my man's playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting minutes.
That? Let the people know who your man is.
Well, he's the only white guy on the team.
Alex Caruso. For
is
those
he
that don't know.
I'm like, is he on? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the only.
The only one with no color. No flavor to that one.
But Alex Caruso's doing pretty well. I've been barking about it for weeks now. He needs more minutes. You know, he's got the athleticism, and sometimes you just need those easy transition buckets.
Sneaky athleticism. Sneaky.
I don't even know why you think it's sneaky. Like,
dude looks like he should be playing at the YMCA, bro.
Like,
he's 25 years old and he's balding. He looks like he's 40.
Yeah, he is balding.
I wouldn't be surprised if I went to the YMCA and saw somebody that looked just like him playing.
I really wish he would do something with the hair.
Mm-hmm. Just go bald. He has that LeBron complex where he doesn't want to let it go. Because LeBron does all this weird, funky shit with his hair. Funky people. Funky. Funky. Don't think I'm cussing.
Well, we've been talking about the Lakers need easy buckets. And you can get easy buckets on putbacks. You get easy buckets in transition. And we're terrible in transition. I think we're 19th in transition offense, and we're not even that good in transition defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the athleticism that Alex Caruso has, I felt he should get more minutes so we can get easy buckets, and that's one of the things he has been doing is getting layups and dunks, and you could call it sneaky athleticism. He gets by his defenders.
Oh, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
He gets by his defenders in the half court, which is surprising.
Yeah, it seems about once a game he'll have
once or twice a game he'll run by his defender.
Nice dunk, yeah, and energize the crowd and all that. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but when I say sneaky, it's like you look at him and you don't necessarily expect him to even really be able to dunk.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he has some size. He's 6'5", but there's plenty of 6'5" people in the world that can't dunk a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of one of those. But then you see him actually in game, and he's not even the best. I don't know what it is, but he's not even the best dunker on the layup line. I don't know if he's not really going all out or trying to do it, but in the game you see him, he'll elevate. He has like a 40-inch vertical.
What I haven't seen from him, what I wish I would see, is the fact that he's not willing to take the three all the time. And I'm wondering if it's because of lack of confidence, or is he just trying to make the right play?
Right.
That's what I'm scared of.
I agree with that criticism because he'll take it if he's wide open.
Yeah.
If he's wide open, he'll take it. And there was a play, I forget if it was against the Kings or the Warriors, but there was a play where LeBron was in sort of the pinch post, dribbling, and the shot clock was going down. And I saw Caruso in the opposite corner, and I saw it, watching it live on TV, I saw it, and I looked, and I'm like, all I said was snipe. And in my head, I'm thinking, LeBron is going to throw this cross-court pass to Alex Caruso. LeBron ended up taking another 2 or 3 dribbles, so it was longer than what I thought, but at the end of the play, he threw that cross-court pass to Alex Caruso in the corner, knocked that 3 down, which was what I wanted to see more of, but that's an example to your point that he'll only take it when he's wide open.
Yeah, it makes me a little scared because I'm like, all right, is this the reason why the Lakers aren't playing as much as they could? Because if he can get easy buckets, if he can knock down the 3, why not play him more?
Well, he came out, and against the Kings, he started the second half.
Yeah. I don't think he's a great defender, though. I don't. At least, well, he's played some dynamic guards.
Mm-hmm.
So
that are going to make anybody look bad.
Yeah. Because Trae Young was getting by him every single time.
Right.
Not even sometimes, every time. So, although he's doing really well, I'd still like him coming off the bench, not with the starters.
So are you happy with where his minutes have been the last few games? Because he had about 24 to 26 minutes against the Kings, and I'm not sure exactly what he had tonight, but I'd venture to say that it's upwards of 20.
He's getting more minutes than I expected. I thought they were going to give him like 15
to 18, somewhere in that range.
He's getting like 21 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa.
So a little bit too many minutes for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, slow it down. I was just going for more minutes.
So I think next week when we talk about Caruso, or when you talk about Caruso, you need to talk about bringing his minutes down then. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like, you love what he does and what he brings, but you said you were hoping 15 to 18. He's more like 21, 24.
Yeah, that's a little much.
So.
A little much. Just be who you are.
Right.
Well, he's still going, though. He will probably maintain those minutes. The next 2 games are against the Thunder.
Yeah, which we'll get to in a bit. We talked about it last week as well. That it's one of those home and homes.
Yeah.
So
the first one's at home
in LA.
The second one is in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they have 2 days of travel between them, right? I think it's a Tuesday, Friday.
The first one is on Tuesday, and the next one's on Friday.
Yeah, so Tuesday, Friday. So they have Wednesday, Thursday to travel.
Yeah, that's a good rest.
I mean, like I said last week, they might as well take the same plane and just have a big kumbaya on the way to OKC.
You got to be careful in that second game, because the second game, they play Friday, and then the very next game is a Saturday.
Against who?
Memphis.
Okay.
So it's only Memphis, but they still have Ja Morant.
All right. Let's not get because that's a topic that we're going to close the show with. So let's not get too far into that. Let's move on to KCP.
KCP. We have to apologize to KCP.
We do.
Because, for a minute.
We talked about trading him for an 8th grader. We did. We said this.
He's been playing really well. I mean, him and Alex Caruso have been getting those transition buckets. And you can't just throw the ball down in the post to AD every single time or give LeBron James the ball and tell him to create some madness. Sometimes you just need those easy buckets, which is why I think they should run some more pick and roll, which they haven't been doing. But that's the story for another day. I like what he's been doing
with this team, bro.
Huh?
He got a lot of issues with this team.
Because I already know what it's going to take to win it all, and I expect the Lakers to win it all this year, not next year, this year. And if they don't improve on those throughout the course of the season,
win it all this year. AD might be on his way to Chicago. He might be looking like a bull next year. I doubt it too, but home lures people.
Yeah.
Not everybody, because KD didn't want to go home.
No.
But for certain people, KD never wanted to go there.
No.
But for certain people, like me, if I was on that stage, I was in that spotlight, you're damn right. I'm from Pasadena, California. I'm just outside of LA.
It's the Lakers.
It's
different.
But if I'm an NBA player and the Clippers called me and gave me a chance to come home and play, it's home. It may not be the preferred team, but I'm looking for any way I can to get home.
Okay. Yeah. If I'm from DC, I'm not trying to get home. I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
What if you're from Chicago? You don't want to deal with Reinsdorf? I've never been. I want to go.
I've never been. I want to go too, especially to go watch a Cubs game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go watch a Cubs game. But no. You're asking me to leave LeBron. Leave LeBron.
But you don't know how long you're going to have LeBron for. Plus, as you like to always say, I'm going to keep going to this. You know what I'm going to say? Old man LeBron.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have old man LeBron than them kids.
What about Zach LaVine?
Yeah, the kids.
Zach LaVine is good, 26, 27. He ain't.
Because he's on a garbage team. Do you think he'd be getting 26, 27 if he was on a good team?
No, he's 26 or 27 years old.
Okay. If
prime NBA players is 28 to 32.
Look, I'll look up Zach LaVine right now, and I'll tell you what he's doing. And I guarantee you he wouldn't be doing that on any good team.
Oh, no, it's empty calorie stats. I agree.
Yeah.
But he's still on the way up. Now, the one thing I don't like about LaVine is his contract is enormous. And that's a hindrance as far as building.
I would never pay him. Never.
But
you can walk.
See, I don't like that UCLA Bruin about him either.
Why do you hate on the Bruins?
Bro.
Especially when it comes to basketball. Look, I understand when it comes to football, but when it comes to basketball, if you play basketball in LA, you go to UCLA. Unless somebody pay you some money.
Are you done?
All the ballers went to UCLA.
I'm sorry, I'm so disinterested in your argument right now. I have to hear this from my girl all the time, who's a UCLA graduate, and I had to watch a UCLA football game yesterday, man. You know how much that killed me? I had to watch them get blown out by Utah. Yeah, anytime anybody brings up UCLA with me, I'm so disinterested. It's not. It's just something about that. I'm just USC through and through, and you start talking about UCLA, anything to me, and I'm like, let's stop listening.
Look, you got to get with it with the UCLA basketball because good basketball players don't go to USC.
Taj Gibson, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Hell, OJ Mayo, he was a bust in the NBA, but he was still highly touted out of high school.
You mentioned Taj Gibson and OJ Mayo.
I don't care what you say. I'm
and
biased.
DeMar DeRozan. The guy who got traded so Kawhi Leonard could go in there and win a championship.
DeMar DeRozan, the guy that averages 20-25 points a year.
I'll give you Taj Gibson.
Perennial All-Star. I like Taj, too. I actually met him. He's a real good dude.
Yeah,
real good dude, yeah. Met him in person. I won't dive too much into that, but he was real warm and he was actually genuine. I met Leonard Williams as well, the star defensive lineman from USC that got drafted by the Jets, and I'm a huge Jets fan as well.
Yeah.
I met Leonard Williams as well, and he was a dick. Like, I met him, and it was right after he got drafted. I met him, and I'm like telling him, yo, I'm a big SC fan. I followed your career at SC. I'm a Jets fan as well. I'm glad you got drafted by my... Look, I got my Jets lanyard. My car keys are on. Like, I'm a real fan. And I'm just happy you got drafted to the Jets, and I hope you had a good training. Okay. And he turns around and gives me the cold shoulder and didn't say another word to me. Whereas Taj Gibson, he stood, and I met him the year KD went to the Warriors. I met him, shook his hand. He stood, had a conversation with me. He allowed me to ask him what he thought about KD going to the Warriors. Mm-hmm. He left, came back in just to say goodbye, have a good day, and shake my hand again because he realized he left without saying peace. So he came back, said his little piece, and shook my hand, and then good dude. Ever since then, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, Taj Gibson is a real one. Leonard Williams, I can do without. He was a dick. But I'm biased towards Taj Gibson. I probably give him more credit than what he's actually done in the NBA because of my personal experiences with him and the fact that he went to USC.
Yeah.
But I love him as a player.
Oh, yeah?
He'll give you some rebounds. He'll give you some defense. He'll give you the energy. He'll give you maybe 10, 12 points a game. He's good. I like him.
Well, just think about this. Kareem, Reggie Miller, Jamal Wilkes.
90s. Jamal Wilkes was in the 60s, 70s. Again, 60s or 70s.
And you got Kevin Love. Okay. Aaron Aflalo made it to the NBA.
Russell Westbrook.
Lonzo
but that's
Ball.
Early 2000s, so okay. Lonzo's a bust, though.
And right now, you got Shareef O'Neal at UCLA.
Did he go to UCLA? Because I know he had committed to Arizona at first, and there was issues with Arizona or whatever. Didn't he have open heart surgery as well?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so there's issues with Arizona. I didn't know he was at UCLA now, though.
Yeah, Shareef O'Neal. Zach LaVine went there. Drew Holiday went there.
Aaron Holiday went there as well, right?
Yep.
So I think Justin might have went there too.
Yeah.
All three of the Holidays.
And then, who was the coach of the Arizona last year, of Phoenix last year?
Earl Watson.
Earl Watson went there too.
Yeah. Married to Joy Taylor on
I know. That one was
show.
Beautiful. I'm missing one other baller. He was with he played for Golden State. Before Golden State.
Only one I could think of is Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes went there too.
Baron Davis?
Baron Davis.
Is that who you're thinking about? The Miracle Team or whatever that beat the Mavs?
Matt Barnes, Baron Davis.
I mean, they have a long history, but you start talking UCLA and I tune out. It's just something that
Trevor
nasty.
Ariza.
Oh, I love PA, but that nasty like blue and gold, like it just no.
If you're a baller and you live in LA, you're going to UCLA.
No, and that's just like in Pasadena. The basketball school is PHS, and the football school is Mir.
Yep.
But you want to know what's odd? Most of the pro NBA players come out of Mir.
Yep.
And the pro NFL players come out of HS. Ryan Hollins went to Mir, went to UCLA, went to the NBA.
I was there.
You went to Mir? See, I went to PHS.
Yeah.
So it's weird that the basketball school is Mir, but they mostly put out football players.
Yeah.
And the football school is HS, but they put out the basketball players. It's the strangest thing to me.
I have a funny story about Ryan Hollins.
Really?
I mean, I came up to him. I was a senior. I think he was a freshman or a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, are you going to play for the basketball team? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh.
He is a goofy individual, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't being goofy at that point. I was like, oh, dude just gave me the cold shoulder. Because, at the time, we didn't really have a good basketball team.
Well, you guys never do.
Yeah.
It's always a football team. HS has a basketball team in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Which we shouldn't be really talking about this right now because it's not really that relevant. And a lot of people around the country are probably going to be like, I don't care. But let's get back on. But KCP's
doing great. Doing great. I mean,
doing great.
He got some transition buckets today. He knocked down some threes today. He did what he was supposed to do. He didn't have to defend the best perimeter offensive person on the other team. I think that might be what's really helping him. Not defending the best perimeter offensive person on the other team, because when he's defending, he's not doing so well on the offensive end, and I think it might be taking energy away from his game.
My turn?
Yeah.
Because you know how I feel about this and what I'm about to say. I don't want KCP attacking the rim, not at all. Let me rephrase that. On a fast break, 1-on-0, like we had tonight, where he got the ball in transition, yes, attack the rim, get an easy dunk. If there's a big man from the opposing team in the paint, KCP, don't you take your butt in there. Don't you do... No, because I saw him miss 3 layups against the Kings. I saw him miss... What was the game he got hurt against? I think it was the Suns.
Kyle Kuzma.
He missed the layup where he got hurt. Oh.
But he still shot well from the field.
Who did? KCP?
No, Kyle Kuzma.
Okay, I'm not talking about Kuz today. Okay, I'm not talking about Kuz. I'm trying to talk about KCP. Okay, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, as Stephen A. Smith would like to say. Yeah, I don't want him attacking the rim at all, unless it's in transition and there's nobody down there, because I've seen him miss too many damn layups, and I can't take it. Meanwhile, he's shooting threes and he's shooting pull-up mid-range jump shots, and he is wetting those.
Yeah, he's better from mid-range than I thought he was.
I'm not telling KCP, look, KCP, if you get the ball, you can look for your shot. That's fine. Just don't go inside. Make sure whatever shot you take is a mid-range or a 3. Because if you go inside, I'm not trying to see. It irritates me every time you miss a layup, bro. It irritates me. Why are you trying to go inside taking a layup when you're missing 3 of them a game, but then you're shooting 30 to 40% from 3? I'd rather you just shoot those. So,
play the numbers game?
Yeah, KCP, you can take it. You can take your shots. You can find your scoring within the offense, of course. Just don't go inside. Don't take your ass inside. If you take your ass inside, do it to collapse the defense, and kick it out. Don't go inside with the intent of scoring, unless you're on a wide open fast break like you were tonight.
Well, he's doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better.
And I gave KCP a little bit, just a smidgen of respect last time we talked. But
just a smidgen.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, I went into that whole UGA and
Yeah.
So I gave him a little bit of respect, even though I was still talking about trading it for 8th grader. But he's playing well. And as long as he keeps shooting his 3 and his jump shot, his mid-range, I'm fine with him taking those shots. I don't want to see him driving. That's my issue.
I don't know.
Because I don't think he has
I've
to
never
finish
liked him as a driver.
Yeah, I don't think he has the finishing. And you made the point that you got to take the easy ones so the hard ones start falling. Okay, I get it. I agree on a normal circumstance, but with this player, I don't like it.
Okay.
I'd rather him take the 3 or take a pull-up 2.
He's really good at those pull-up 2s. Yeah. He looks really comfortable.
Yeah. Especially when he's catching and shooting and taking 1-2 hard dribbles, pulling up. Yeah. I love it. I don't want him to attack.
How many minutes did he play tonight?
Let's see.
I feel like they took minutes away from him.
Oh, probably.
No, he's still playing. Well,
he got the start because Avery. He played 21 minutes.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be starting up
because Avery Bradley's out.
Yeah.
Shot 6 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Which contradicts everything I just said. But watching the game. That game against the Kings, he missed 3 layups. I counted them.
Yeah.
And that...
He had 3 turnovers tonight.
Yeah, at that point, I'd rather you just take your 3s. Okay, you were 0 for 2 tonight? Okay.
But at least shooting the ball from the field, he's been shooting it a lot better than he's been shooting it the games prior.
Had 13 points. He was a plus 12 tonight, which is good.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Tonight he had 13. In the last 10 games, he had 7. So
yeah, so I'll take it as long as he's not attacking the rim. That's my thing. I don't want to see him attack the rim.
His 3-point shooting is terrible.
He's been shooting it better of late.
Christ.
What was it for the Kings and the Warriors?
The last 10 games, he was shooting at 28%.
Yeah, but that was 6 or 7 games where we were already knowing that he was not
playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, against the
Kings, what did he shoot from 3? And I'll look up the Warriors. So for the Warriors game, KCP, he did not start, but he played 19 minutes. He was 0 for 1 from 3.
He was 3 for 5. 3 for 5 against the Sacramento.
That's 60%, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So you add in the 0 for 1 tonight, or against the Warriors, and the 0 for 2 tonight. He's about 50% over the last 3 games.
I'll give you that.
I mean, granted, most of it came from that one game against the Kings, but he's showing that he's better shooting than he is attacking. And that's where I want KCP to get the majority of his looks.
Yeah, he's very hot-cold. Mm-hmm. Hot-cold. Because the games where he's hot, he's 50%. 40%, 50%, 60%. The games where he's cold, 0.
Right.
0.
Yeah.
Like, dang, just stop shooting.
Which I would... No, don't stop shooting. I'd rather him keep shooting.
I mean, if he's 0...
he's missing layups anyway.
Set up to the mid-range. Just take the mid-range.
Okay, then whatever. As long as you're not taking layups, that's where I'm at.
You're like...
I may sound dumb. I'm sorry for all those who think I don't know my basketball, but
so you're like, just don't take nothing. Just don't take nothing.
No. Don't take... No. Can we trade him for the 8th grader? I'm just joking. But no, like, it's not don't take nothing.
No, that 8th grader might be LeBron James' son.
That's what I'm saying. I don't. we'll talk at the end of your KCP. All right. You talked about this a little bit earlier, the transition offense and defense.
Yeah. The Lakers have... The other night, they talked about it on Spectrum Sportsnet. They said Lakers are one of the worst. I think at the time we were 29th in transition defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're more like 19th. And on offense, we're somewhere around the same. We're like less than minimum of the pack. And it's kind of bothering me because we should be able to get back. And I think you said it has something to do with the offense, but as a guard, you should be able to get back no matter what. You just know. It's just automatic. All right, get back. Let me make sure that no one's in front of me. Because that's where we're giving up a lot of those easy buckets to the young teams, the ones that want to get out and run. It's like we forget that they want to run on us and we allow it to happen. It's really annoying because we have LeBron James on the wing, and I know he likes to stay back for rebounds. So that means guys that are smaller have to get back, and they're basically just, other teams are just sending bigger guys so they can get those easy buckets on us.
So can I ask you this? What do you value more? Offensive rebounds or good transition defense? Because you can really only realistically have one or the other. Because if you're good at offensive rebound, you're probably crashing glass on offense, which leaves you vulnerable on the back end to transition. And if you're getting back on transition, you're probably not, you might still get a few, but you're not getting very many offensive rebounds. So what do you value more?
Transition defense.
Okay, so then...
Because with this team, the guys that are going to get back are going to be guys like Rondo,
Cook, Bradley.
Yes, all our small guys.
Troy Daniels.
Yeah.
And maybe Kuz every once in a while. Maybe AD just because of his pure athleticism.
Exactly. And they're going to send a 6'7" wing, 6'8" wing, because they know LeBron James is more interested in getting those rebounds to go against our smaller guy.
Now, my thing is, if you... See, I'm the opposite. I'd focus more on the offensive rebound, and I want them crashing the glass. Because if you make your shots, if you score, just right off the bat, you're taking half the transition opportunities away. Because it's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very hard for a team to run a fast break coming after a made basket.
Mm-hmm.
So just by scoring more and putting the ball through the rim and making them have to take it out, you're cutting the fast break opportunities basically in half just from making your shots. And if you send more towards offensive glass, when you do miss the shots, if you have an AD, a LeBron, a Kuz, everybody on the floor just crashing the board and working for that, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, working for that offensive rebound, you're more likely to get a putback or grab the rebound, gather, put it in, and then it's going to help on the transition defensive side. And that's just where I'm at with it, because at this point I don't feel like you can actually start to get back any better than what they've been doing. Yeah, you can give more effort, more hustle, and do it for show, but are you really going to affect the points given up in transition?
I agree with you, but it's not like that we have the best rebounding team. Mm-hmm. We have some of the better rebounders in the league, and we're like 9th in rebounding. So it's not like I wouldn't be upset if it was because they were crashing the glass and getting offensive rebounds, but we're getting out rebounded almost every game. We're just scoring at a higher percentage than everyone else, but we're not rebounding. We're not getting back, and we're not rebounding. Mm-hmm. And I think those 2 losses more than likely came because we're not getting back and we're not rebounding. You got to do one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a suicide poison pill when you don't do both. You have to do one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't care which you do, but you have to do one or the other. I have a preference, but
like I can guarantee that the game we played against the Clippers, the game we played against the Raptors, we got out rebounded in both of those games.
Right.
That's just. I'll look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure we got out rebounded in both of those games, mm-hmm. and we should be able to out rebound with those teams. I mean, I know Marcus Gasol is a pretty good rebounder, but he's older. Mm-hmm. You should be able to out rebound him.
Yeah, especially, I mean, JaVale's still pretty young. AD is 26. Dwight is older. But JaVale is, I believe he might be 30 or 29 or 31 or somewhere around there. But AD is top 10 in the league in rebounds. And you would expect him to, I mean, tonight was a blimp in the radar. It was not normal with him having just one rebound. But you would expect him to be able to have more of an impact as far as the transition, because if he's crashing the boards, and there's been plenty of times where I've seen it, and he or Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee have made something out of nothing, got a second opportunity on the offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about the transition offense, though? Now that we've talked about the defense, I mean,
well, tonight we had great transition offense. I mean, LeBron James pushed the ball up the field more than a few times. At least I remember seeing at least 7 to 10 times where he really pushed the ball up the court. And guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, guys like Alex Caruso took advantage of the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they've already been talking about the fact that our transition offense is terrible, because it's terrible. And if you play with older LeBron, your transition offense isn't going to be that great because he doesn't want to run up the floor.
Well, he's never really wanted to run that much anyways. Yeah, he's done it, but if you look over the course of his career, he's typically played for some of the slowest teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
As far as pace. Also, do you think that could be part of coaching? Because Frank Vogel's teams in Indiana were never really known for running either.
I do believe it's part of coaching, but I also think that they chose him for a good reason, mm-hmm. because it matched the style.
All right, so maybe that's just part of the game plan, that if LeBron, if you get the ball and you know we got a fast break, we got a dunk and a layup, then go for it. But as part of the game plan, we don't necessarily want you doing that too often.
Yeah.
We kind of want to run a slower pace, where it's weird because Jason Kidd was a transition player as point guard. Mm-hmm. That's when he was at his best. He's a Hall of Famer, great player and everything, but he was at his best in transition.
Yeah.
When he could do things with the ball.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just part of the game plan, how they expect to attack it every game.
And to go back, I'm basically going to have to eat my words. Surprisingly, when we played the Raptors, we out-rebounded them 60-53.
Okay.
They just shot better than us. And when we played the Clippers, it was 50-50.
Okay.
But we should be able to out-rebound the Clippers.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, you got Montrez, but that's about it.
That's it.
And he's not even really that big. He just has a great motor.
Yeah.
But Zubac, I feel like when the Lakers play the Clippers, he's not going to be on the floor too much because AD is just going to exploit him.
And him up. Yeah, when they played him last time, they put other guys on him because he would get in foul trouble.
Doc took Zubac out in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that transition issue, to me, it's correctable. That's something that's very correctable. It's things like tonight where AD had 1 rebound, which is unexcusable. But I'm not too much worried about the transition as much as you are. I would love to see it more just because I know it lessens the load on LeBron and AD, and you're getting your easy points, and that's going to help. Over the long run, that's going to help. It might not help game to game, but it over the course of a long season, it's going to help. So I like what you're making your issues with the transition offense. But as far as transition defense, I feel like you have to either sacrifice one offensive rebounding or transition defense.
Yeah.
And if you're saying you would rather sacrifice offensive rebound, then I mean that's you. I'm the opposite. And I'd rather go crash the boards and run the risk again beat in transition. But that's just more of a preference.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong to it. So
as long as you do it correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wouldn't. And
you can win both ways.
If we were really good at offensive rebounding, I wouldn't care. But we're not really good at it.
Right. We should be, though, with the 3 big men we have, plus LeBron. So that's really weird because given the eye test, that's not what I've been seeing. But, I mean, numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So there's something there, definitely. And hopefully throughout the rest of the season, the coaching staff will look into that and figure out a way to mitigate it as much as possible. But like I said, as far as eye test, I haven't seen it. But the numbers are showing it, obviously. So to end, we've been going long. I think this one was longer than the last one, and I thought the last one was outrageously long. But we're going to wrap it up here. Let's look ahead towards the games for next week. We talked about it a little bit. They have back-to-back, not back-to-back nights, but back-to-back games against Oklahoma City. Home with Oklahoma City on Tuesday and in Oklahoma City on Friday. Who else do they play between now and then? I believe they play the Grizzlies on Saturday. So it's a back-to-back against Thunder and Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm. That's the back-to-back.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Oklahoma City at 7:30. Friday at Oklahoma City at 5 o'clock. And then Saturday against Memphis at 5 o'clock.
On the road.
Yeah.
So what will probably...
It's a 4-game road trip. Yeah. You end up playing at Oklahoma City, at Memphis, at San Antonio, and at New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. All
winnable games.
Oh, very.
All winnable games. But, 4-game road trips, you're going to be gone from the 22nd to... you'll be gone 5 days. It's not that bad.
I'm not so much worried about the Spurs and the Pelicans game.
No, the Spurs can't score.
What we're talking about now, because we plan on recording every Saturday. And then we'll have it uploaded either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at just for the games that we're going to have to talk about next week, which is Thunder at Grizzlies. What do you think they're going to go as far as win-loss? What do you expect to see in those 3 games?
They better go 3-0.
Absolutely.
They better go 3-0.
A loss to any one of those 3 games would be unacceptable. A loss and especially the Thunder at home. You can't drop that game at home.
No.
You just can't do it. I will forgive a loss to the Thunder on the road or loss to the Grizzlies on the road more than I will forgive a loss to the Thunder at home.
I can see them losing the away game at the Thunder because, you play a team twice, they make adjustments, and they can,
Well, see, I'm not even gonna say that. I think they should sweep the Thunder in these next few games. I'm more worried about the Grizzlies because the FedEx Forum in Memphis is kind of like what the Rose Garden and the Moda Center in Portland are to the Lakers. Historically, they've never played well on the road in Memphis. You can look at when they had Kobe. You can look at when they had. I don't know if it applies too much to Shaq and Kobe, but you can look at Shaq or Kobe and Powell. They go into Memphis, and that's a hard place for them to play and pull out wins. So while Memphis is a bad team, I think that's kind of one of those trap games.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. Well, look, they have some players.
Yeah. Jaren Jackson and John Morant.
Grayson Allen.
No, you don't care.
You don't like Grayson Allen?
No.
I think he's gritty. You have Kyle Anderson.
So you like his grit, but you don't like Pat Beverly's.
Well, he can score. Grayson Allen can score.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
You have Kyle Anderson, slow mo. Let's see who else they have. They have Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
They have Solomon Hill. They have Andre Iguodala.
Talk about bad contract. Hey, you bring up Iggy, he don't even play.
Yeah, I know. He's still there.
Like, we waiting for him to be a Laker. You rated him up as, they got LJ.
Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, hey, we're about to throw you out there tonight. We just need you to do a thing. They have Tyus Jones. He's cool. He seemed like he'd be a coach.
He's not in Minnesota anymore? Oh, wow.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's getting $9 million. It's crazy. And John Morant.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm mostly worried. And Valanciunas.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, Valanciunas.
He is part of that Marc Gasol trade to the Raptors.
Yeah, so John Morant, Valanciunas, Jay Crowder, Grayson Allen, slow-mo.
Right. So
they're not a bad team. They're just in a transition.
That's a bad team, bro.
Turning that team into John Morant's team.
That's a bad team. I appreciate you trying to give them some
not
credit.
Bad.
It's a bad team. That's a bad team. They might not have 20 wins.
They're 5-8.
Okay, so they might not have 25 wins.
Yeah. They are one loss behind the Thunder.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb on this. And if I'm wrong, you guys can get at me in the comments at the end of the season. But I'm going to say the Memphis Grizzlies don't end up with more than 25 wins. So they'll have 25 wins or less.
I'll give them 30.
So
I'll give them 30.
I'm on the other side. I think at most they win 25.
Yeah. I expect them to win 30.
Okay.
John Morant, he's pretty dynamic.
Team. Either way, it's a bad team. So you're predicting 3-0, as am I.
Yeah, you know what happened last time we said that?
Man. But if you look... Look, hold on. I'm going to defend myself. I can't speak for you, Kevin, okay? But for me, look, I said November 25th against the Spurs was their next loss. What if, now let's play along here, what if they get to November 25th against the Spurs and the only game they have lost was against the Raptors?
That's still a good.
Am I not kind of pretty much 90% right? I mean, look how I phrase that. Kind of pretty much 90%. So I'm going to take my little whiz where I still think they're going to lose that game to the Spurs. I'm still calling.
Really?
I'm still calling that.
Watch the Spurs.
Did you not see them last time they played the Lakers?
They still have the same system. They still have the same system.
It's in San Antonio.
Like they still have the same system, but they have no one shooting the ball when they need to shoot the ball.
Like we said about USC, DeMar DeRozan, the man is a killer.
No, DeMar DeRozan is the anti-NBA.
And Pop still got him to the playoffs. Him and Aldridge, both mid-range shooters. We talked about this last week. Mid-range shooters.
What happened?
They got further than the Lakers.
In and out.
They got to the playoffs. We ain't been in the playoffs in 6 or 7 years. Come on now.
Yeah, they have Pop. We have Luke.
Dude, they got a playoff berth. Can we say that? When was the last time we been in the playoffs? Kobe was on the team.
Look,
the last time we were in the playoffs, Dwight was on the team. Not this year.
I know.
Like, come on, man. Like, I was
Spurs
thirsty.
are 5-8. They have the same record as the Memphis Grizzlies.
I get it. I get it. But they also have more talent. They also have way better coach. They also
Cleveland
have way
Cavaliers
better
are
culture.
1 win.
They also have way better home court advantage. Like you can't. It's so early that you can't buy into these records too much just yet. Just like we're surprised by the Suns at 7-4, but are you buying into them as one of the best teams in the league because their record says they're one of the best teams in the league right now?
No,
exactly.
But they are one of the. They play really really hard. I'll give them that. Which means almost nothing in professional sports.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So we're both taking the Lakers to be 3-0 by the next time we talk to you guys. Like Kevin said, look how well that worked out for us last time. So we might mess around and just come drop this next game to OKC if the pattern holds true. I mean, granted, it's a one-time thing, but that first game after the podcast to Toronto, they lost.
Yeah.
So they might do the same thing with OKC at home. I would hope not, because if they do, I will be furious. And
oh my God! Did you know that San Antonio's on a 5-game losing streak?
That's fine. That's fine. Do you not know the history and the rivalry between San Antonio and the Lakers? Do you not remember Derek Fisher .4? Do you not remember Shaq saying, one lucky shot deserves another lucky shot?
Man, look, that was a way better team.
The Spurs have been good for 20, 25 years now. And every year, we talked about this last week, every year it's always one of the Spurs going to fall off. This is the year, this is the year, this is the year.
This might be the year.
It very well could be, but do I think they are going to play the Lakers hard? Do I think Pop is going to have his team ready? Do I think that's a game they can possibly lose?
Against the Lakers.
Yeah. Okay. So, we both got them going 3-0. And if they drop any of the games, I would say it's fair to say they have a problem. Because these are 2 against OKC, and then Memphis, which are team, even Memphis played them hard at home in Staples.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going there is a tough environment, but these are games they should win. And if you're hoping to win a championship or you have the makeup of a championship team, then these are the games you have to win early in the season against the teams that you should beat. Because we might need to fall back on these early season wins at the end of the year when things start to get harder.
Agreed.
So we'll go ahead and lock that in for both of us 3-0 for next week. Have a good week, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next Saturday. Got anything else to say?
No. Have a good weekend.
All right. Sounds good. Everybody enjoy. Happy 4-game winning streak for our Los Angeles Lakers. Let's keep it going. Let's try to get to 10. We got to 7 last week, and we dropped the damn game against the Raptors. So let's try to get to 10 and build off that. Everybody, if you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment down low, and we will be having a Twitter page coming soon for the channel. So if you have anything that you want to interact with Kevin or I on, or if we have any thoughts throughout the week, we will be posting it to the Twitter, as well as letting you guys know when new episodes drop if you happen to not subscribe, but I would hope you do. So have a good night, good weekend, good week, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Saturday, hopefully 3-0. Have a good night.
Night.